akye echicha mu nyina ne abusuafo ni nyina Marco very very good morning to you Marco and afi antipi na man no pay mu nyina akye ante sewa ene ante rama no ne chese abusuafo ni nyina Mrs Father Dixon no ohu jollof ka hando ko ni mnye ohamie ko ni mayo ikemule ka kwa man no kuno ke look my free my pay free nti no pay mi cheche mu nyina nti o chane yakopon ya adom a ye de be hihye so na ye de aye na ansa na no ene eye Gertrude na aku shika ayikoi ene wawoda wunia Adele awo UTV ha se men kan chiro se o ma wutiri nkwa Gertrude na aku shika ayikoi baby a wo bia no wutiri nkwa mu ntiri nkwa pa na no pay manso ma me fasa nkwa na Mississippi penny edafom o kwape mampom nti yebekodi na wotweda nti awrade adom a yebekọ na yakokota achi nti abi na abusuafo ni nyina msebe sabe de mu de waduru ho wofa misum wie pe pam misum ba na yabedi na wotweda no na aye fefe sede nyina enemu no nti ene na that is it sana achi sana ebe no ano no abedwafo be kam nsentie nche no be sha se di ko mami che benu abako lawyer Solomon Pamford Kumase onua no pe me mo ache pa meti won kana ache enche me be Kumase enche me be Kumase obi hum yi na no pe ma mema minifa so Dr. Christopher Ampedu ono no ye pani a oda West African Director Samaritan Strategy Africa which is Africa ha nyina no Samaritan Strategy for no omuku no e ka West Africa oni pani a woda no ena afei mi benkum so pe Kwame Wiredu e ka MPP communication team no ho osanso lawyer ni wono nso wa ha ena afei Yawsompa ya na wo chirichiro no video akwanta no free dia akwanta de she lawyer ni sanips kase mu pa na lansu ko kan se bi se ye wo mra uskasa mu na se samra ni adwuma kan ne che yesu nti ene samra no mama na ada ne dia ma yahwe ena fe divine enkroma ono so on the director of operations edema PPP amayuko no ginani wo wiase pa che obi a on famenko so my old mind na me so ron twɛn ebrepa mu no ebɛyɛ yi na no pɛyi abujafo mama kwaba da mase ne mo mre pa na wo mo a etwa madafa wo social media ebra ye de flyer no to ho enra flyer ye de to ho no na nipa ɛwɔ so no na MPP ni enka ho na meni party chitafo na etwa madapa pa se mahye da ye MPP anamusifo afirimu mafa bi ama enye sanete party no communication department ene yinipa represent party no e wo show no so na me producers any party no communication department dinsa wo so abrebia se de be ya won be kire sase mesia na so benten ena eba na one ayimadu bakwen won na sadwuma no ehye ne nsa so odi nipa beba show no so abrebia me producers afre friend na wonfa entita me be flyers no na MPP rep obaba show no so no na yen san kan it happened last week and SNC and round so enti no enfum so no mfiri yen every party no communication directorate especially the action nsa aye friend ayimadu bakwen wo no and man kokoba sa enti e be ne sa aya mo hya se ni atam ntam sa mo hya dan horo ni pantentem sa ndi nipa ye nipa rough sa esanse fum so no mfiri yen ifiri baby amabodi no nti mo hye no so ma me pa eno na dwo anse de ete yese owuredu na beba eba ne se nyefe kra nti hwe na sese bi wo ho a o mo hwe no mo sisi wo na ho nyina anya kama nti we de me de fa mu keke se na be amoso wo be hu na mo gya adapa na mo twa me no na anya me a sa na tie awie ye hye komo twetwe na se na ye hwe we de ye fa chema wuntumi nsemi emfa nhyasie na asam no akwa ma yewura mu a prince yammo lawyer apia ku bi voice no ebra na was what you mean meeting bail conditions no na yentie nsam okaye ne yenyina ne nsam okaye no so na fie fa hye nkoma hwehwe na ase nti prince odan roma yemo Dr. Lawyer Agya Kwabena ne nsam ne yebo mu bade say sabetumi aka ono akasa ma no so na ke di nkoma kwa akire santumi nka ne nti no yemo recorded version na fie wi a yaba.
Lawyer Agya Kwabena, lawyer, we've heard from Baumia, we've heard from Alexander Fenyomakin. They said they went to NIB. The client is not there. Where is he?
You see, there is a way of doing everything. If you use the way to do it, you will do it as expected. So you don't start throwing stones when you want to enter the house. This is, what is the time? This is 8 o'clock. But we've gotten public officers still stay here and wait for us. It depends on how you conduct the business. So we have been seen by the public officers. We've done what is dutifully our job to do with Dennis. We encountered some difficulty which will be sorted out on Monday. Then we will have a fresh slate to operate. We will work towards the desired results. I beg you, all of you, I will stay out of the politics and the theater, and I'll do the work within the law. I thank you very much for your support.
Just one question. Do you know the whereabouts of your client?
Oh yes, why not?
Where is he?
We had brought him to meet with Vice President, but the situation we saw was difficult to arrange this meeting, to pass through the crowd to get Vice President, see him and talk to him. So we had to take him back, and I told you that his condition of health requires attention. So he is receiving attention. He is wholly good, he is wholly healthy, and there's nothing to worry about in respect of his health.
Secure the bail now?
We have been able to provide the sureties. That one I can assure you. And I'm very grateful to Honorable Brian Champon, who has supported me to file the documents. He has brought his documents to which goes over and above the value of money that is required. So I thank you very much.
So that means your client is going home tonight?
Oh, well, obviously no.
So when?
I told you that we encountered a challenge. The challenge that needs to be addressed before we can go forward. In fact, they had agreed to do the inspection tonight. So all the officers are there. But the challenge that I faced is legal. We can't do it because, but I'm grateful to them. They agreed to wait for us to bring the documents for them to go and inspect the properties. But we have a legal challenge. Unknown to me, there was an application to frustrate what we are doing. So we will deal with it on Monday. I say it is application that was not filed by my good self, but that prohibits us.
Is that what you're holding?
That is what I'm holding.
Specifically, what is it about?
I'm not showing you.
Sure. So hopefully by Monday your client will be free.
Hopefully by Monday, when this application is withdrawn, then we'll proceed to complete what we are doing.
I get that becomes a conditionality then, that if this application is withdrawn, yes, your client gets to go home.
Pending, that will impeach them from continuing with the negotiations. Otherwise, we need to wait and this application is taken and the results come before we can also come in. Because in the pendency of this application, none of us can perform. But at least we have the agreement that we are ready to end. So but for this application, we would have ended today. So unfortunately, our hands are tied.
Lawyer, thank you very much. We just heard the lawyer for Chairman Wontumi, who has just told us exclusively that a few details. The whereabouts of Chairman Wontumi has now been confirmed. One, that he knows where he is. It's not a matter that he's been moved around without their knowledge. And secondly, as well, there's a legal challenge. However, even before that, he tells us that they've been able to now fulfill all the conditions. When that comes to his bill, there was a 50 million Ghana cedis bill that he had to meet, and then 2 sureties. And he's just told us that Brian Champon has come through to.
Yeah, and Koma, of course, lawyer Agya Kwabena. Wono ana lawyer ni a oye meka se chama wuntumi ni lawyer ni na nsema okaye no se ye nyina yate ni nyina bi efa se ade no se wo ye a eso ye ne kwan so ense se wo ye no gidigidi se bia wo ye no okwan bi so na de oha bi beba ne nasefo na application bi akọ court ama ade no mu aye den kakra na woni mu ho hwe ene ehon sam bi ni nema bi nti ye nim enti esese ye ma party no ekire yen se de siti ankasa pa oyuredu bebi a ye duru nie ansa na ye beduru ha kora na mo MPs no akọ yoko akọtena tena ka akwa ho aye dide akọ
omko show solidarity
so omko ho omko ho ekokotena ase etunyuma fine ansa na wo mo eko ene edu bebi eduru wotie lawyer Agya Kwabena o se ana betu aka se won meko nyina no so ye mranimufo a lawyer owura afenyoma ken ye renowned lawyer e wo Ghana ha o se ade no so wo pese owura fie bi mu a eni kan tobo enko ho eya bebuo kasakwa enti na kwa se na sa process ni procedures am betumi afa so ama otumenya bill no na ewo ho na so ebia ho ye ne course no nti nipa nka se kema owura fie ho a ene na oye ne den bebia ye dure no ede na momo ya ankasa pa se kame se dia MPs ni ye no nko de Agya Kwabena so e kan ye nko ena ye se akọ file application bi so no so ni mo hwe no so enko na mi ensan
but I say Jacob na medical achia ahwefo mama obi achi
yes sir
na we dey quickly senior Mr. Anyumedu panel members of the communication by various platforms no facheno na usually Saturdays a very busy day emano because most of the political discussions no usually occurs on Saturday inti na sometimes we overwhelmed kakra inti enyebo apaye facheno
nti omo friend on fa keke o me yenti ase no no
to the be ho asa me ba but you need to be din komo
sure
Jacob na you see what bisa asem na me you no want to me arrest no
yeah
both legal dimension and political dimension
okay
inti want to me ni political actors in frame
okay
political dimension I want to say or constituency regional chairman now share article 55 of our 1992 constitution now political parties say it enjoins political parties say omumbua with nation building article 55 ne ka say a better chiroman so mine be kosuno in here political parties involvement enti obi a political leader say or a huge person and even has a recognition by the Constitution of Ghana 1992. In its outside paya, definitely ebenya political consequences. Inti say minority ebeko akoye akosho solidarity atre yokofo say party people ebako jinaho pastor say ana akasenka yenhwe ne yenyine de because of the political dimension of Untumi's arrest. About the legal dimension now, Jacob, now you see, I won't mince words. Mekane categorically say, near Yokufo a year, Nyomugusu yeno, with the bill condition. The main purpose is to cause Wontumi pain and to show him that we are in power. Because, and yes, sir, and Kadientine saw them as at now. What Iyoko is doing is investigations. Jacob, now lawyer Biabeka say, at that level, Wontumi was Siana is under investigations. No, he prefer charges be against him to fan in court. So what happens is that when you are invited by an investigative body to say Iyoko, to say Ghana police near there, Niachira will say, oh, you are being investigated on these charges. Why you say? No mutia response we are. No maka so. Ya tell response no, and so you be so investigations no. Into your bema bill. senior you saying here say brana ye investigations ne bia obetumi aba sa beli ayekin obi te say chairman won't me wako police CID 1 wako police CID 2 ni nyina ye investigations about alleged nyoma bia waye yan fasa 50 million yan to ne so obi te say chairman won't me ono ana oba ankran na yoko for be intercepting na omochi no inti say mpo investigations because of onwa ba police no at least he should be considered for self-recognizance. Won to me obi a yeka self-recognizance a say etimi ma won to be oni yeka say ye hia wa bra ye gidi say obeba so because won to me obi a identity te okrom ha won to me obi a ye penechi a ye hu no now the 50 million cedis ekoto won to me so say ye ka justification ye say for property and answer for japadia e 50 million ba just when he is being investigated na ne ya wo mu ni say you bet me your investigations in Pui. Now you are more charged by Kumpo. There are so many times Yoko, there are so many times CID, IOB investigations are charging the Panabako. So if at this level you are asking him to bring surety of 50 million Ghana cedis, clear case say you just want to show him where power lies, you just want to use your powers and the law to frustrate him, to cause him pain.
Sana
and yes, sana because the Jacob Machete say. Criminal procedure saying it here. Me fa we ma a tier for education kakra. You were the investigative part. Say ya tese wo ye we. Inti be chechire mu say yampa na say yampa. Wo be chechire mu wi a na ya ka say oh unchechire mu no e say assign investigations for. Inti e bia e be say hia. Inti say ya ka say bra aya bra because ye nwie ye. See your investigations ni wi ni adwin say why ye bibia nya ansa na ye charge o. Ye charge ansa na ye de wo akokot. Want to me in charge no investigations na ye ne me can say o hwe ye article 55 na e ka say a more recognition to political parties and by extension leadership of political party na en sese obi to say want to me as a regional chairman of the New Patriotic Party ababemako ebesamba 2028 nyame ya aduma. You don't treat a political actor like Untumi like that if it is not because opeso cause ni because the point is that CID okoye no what is abill be say. But what Bibisa? Near Yakakrampo say at least we have information of CID near investigating yes some issues of mining. This particular one Ayoko Eche no forcefully it took the Deputy Attorney General Nobekache Ghana for say Yoko fortune because of A, B, C, and D. We don't do that. You want to me is not like you see when you do that not political actors and so ebe join ya now but they didn't have to do that.
What's your rap Dr. Loyapia Kubia or any lawyer near or say Yoko forche or muchene na sifuri nyina no omo famra kwan so na ye a woman to mrebia ono yo no lay ne kasa. Secondly yenya ntiese mo som to nsafre ni so wo mra wanko ansa na national security for ne NIB for ko ni fie so mo kwakoche na no so anyeye eno achi ansa na wo ba akra ama omo so no nti ye hwe processes no se enfumso bi oba bi ya to nsafra osebra di obodi ni dia masa to nsafra osebra wanko ya ko fie eno so wampia ma ya mfawo achire na wado ope na wo baaye mumru na chi no ansa na wo ba akra meaning say sanka ya mfa enkrofo na ma ho sanka ya be 4x4 do aba anka wa mfi upemu ama eba ne sa na say state institution e so e madwuma so ubu o manim tie no so e
o Jacob da o kasa menu enya adwenche say wo be first time na mko ni fie ho a near reportage na yenya ne say now there was no warrant for that. Nothing had been served on him. That is what we understand it to be. But onyanti yes say there's existence of something like that. Okay, so beba. You see the point I am making is say if say yes they just want to cause wound to me pain and they just want to cause wound to me to show him say yeni aba power. Agya Kwabena oti hoyi. Mekuta duemu. Obi anim ochi. Obi anim se ne otie. Ekobase police here wa Agya Kwabena bebia wo bia police betimi anya because when him e common wo Ghana TV any voice and so e common e wo radio so oni obi a only sa status no and some bail conditions because you see the reason for bail no just three things mami church we tie for mu ye ma bail a ne ye hwehwe ne say one ye hia wa obeba si ye hia wa obeba se ye hia wa beba dan na bema wa ba okay ne bema wa ba bi ni say wo nipa ebia wo ye Agya Kwabena no wo gidi say onye hwe nti wo kra wo pese wo cooperate with the investigations na wo clear within ne eto so mienu wo san gidi say asem na aba ene ye de ato so wo wanu yie nti wo be ye den wo be gina akọ ne eto so miensan ye consider say ye hwe wo bebia wo te ye friend fixed place of abode say ye hwehwe wa ye be hu so me fie nie mo hwehwe me am house number nie mo fa me mo mra me ho kwata ne ebisa so ye hwehwe ni ye hu a wan na ye nkosi ne so say ye fa Agya Kwabena man no ye friend surety no enti obesi divine so abenyame obesi Mr. Sompa so abenyame enti sankrofo we aye krado say omde omonsa be hye krata ase say so wo hwehwe me na we hu me a ko mo nchen omde me beba ba utra we nyina na aka say ya Sompa ana divine say ode ne sabe hye krata ase say me ye surety no onfa dwapade a ne bo som say ya ne kwan bisu no oni wuntumi endi niye because wuntumi fall within that category no
or not falling under which
hwe Agya Kwabena minka say minchro lawyer tia obeka chro say you can't be say we are all equal before the law. It is not an absolute statement even in law because oti hey say nei bikutediem why bonibia police obetimi aboha rudu abeche wo adwuma mu but obi ye MP na say wedi bonibia na o parliament a untimi wura ho rudu enkoche no e wo kwan bi a obefa so me pa cho so oti ase e wo kwan bi a obefa so yete ye show yi si ye kasem bi ni anka ni ya na yegu obi hu fia obi betimi asu ye for slander and defamation but judge ayo na adwuma e wo court na say the judgment mu o kasem mpo egu obi hu fia ye untimi nya jan because our sa immunity and protection enti say ye nyina ye penny there ye can say but it is not absolute, there are limitations and when I start to say o hwe ye article 55 now the constitution gives recognition to political parties and therefore by extension political leadership it only sankrofo we delay just at least who say omu here some level of respect omu here some level of decent treatment hwe obeka say yache no ko yoku source no yesi oyare no de to hospital sa nipa we ya oyare no de to hospital at least mo amanya evidence say ne ho dodo no na sa o san set 50 million bill say onya ansa no wakwa unimu say ye krom ha say properties are here and a value of 50 million na me sample say enipa he and a value of property de to so o can say 50 million ye hu nie investigators no na what discretion enti obetimi de ade we yakọ obetimi ahwa aka say 20 million no 50 million obetimi de ade we yakọ obetimi aka say 10 million so that discretion alone obetimi de frustrate you
na ye ni ankorankora ne professionals wo ho a say your evaluation board for
yes
say ko ba say bi a me de ade na basade we na me de babedi nyina mu na say wo a ye sia de ne ka sente sa yetumi evaluation board for mamu mehwe say ade na me de ba no e sanity ampa ne senye sanity
enu po ne man ye hu no krom has why evaluation da ye de achewa within 3 days and 1 week e bi ntimo timi che enu na ye ka say want to meet personality no he didn't require this level of bail condition
ma me pana wo so tie mesa ba so na ya ko obi ti say Woyome for instance
yes
that's no come say 12 years ago and
yes, 54 million
na 54 million Ghana cedis
yes America bin count at least in credit 200
million cedis one more tie no anyway the difference be wom
yes difference wom
Woyome die no anyway the difference be wom
yes difference wom difference a woman they say now Woyome had been charged into the bail condition was imposed by a court of competent jurisdiction.
Okay.
At least now he had been charged. You see, Midikan Kasemi said there are so many people are on my call before investigative bodies are after investigations in charge. So at that level, where bail conditions say purely you want bail to be punishment. Opeso change pakon where power lies because ubetimi ya uyoko investigations now won't me evidence or the buy and waka so I won't charge you. But no keeping in custody. Using powers to grant bail to just frustrate him. So me, I would say categorically that the personality of Wontumi did not require this level of amount of bail.
How much were you expecting?
Wontumi could have been granted self-recognizance.
Yes, the issues are on inti atonsa frɛ no. Issue bia na betumi gina so aka say issue bia wo ho no betumi gina aka say because say we asem asinti no ye nimu nti no ye betumi ama self-recognizance bill.
You see, the issue of bill, they say, yes, you why you be home, and I hear what be
but the issue involved, the case involved,
yes, and I made sure say, yes, you why you be home, you hear what be case no at the same. question ye bisa ne say obi ti say wuntumi ye hwehwe na ye hu no ye hia na oma
nti case bia na me say case no so say case e wo ho no say bia e betu aka say na me bisa no because ye nimu onipa nti no say case ne tisan kra e betu ama ne self recognize
there be enye sweeping statement sir but ne me can say the personality no should always be considered. Of course o grant bill na issues now investigating so you consider e bia sika say na odwin say nipa na wia case no you say o yes success e mu draw to say o yes successful or obeko jail saying but obi ti say want to me for me senka if they were being fair and not because say on person mu chen well power lies worst case scenario would you want to me passports say on to me to free on my name say be out na be huna and it satisfies it.
Okay me that say a lawyer for nsem a lawyer for no ye be call mo so pa ansa na ya ba ayi wo ma aka no so na abusa panyi munko nso abebe kan sa akora akwa ba na hu ye
obodi adom
ye de ready ase
hu ye amenso be hu ye
adom no we de mame mra wo so kra ansa na maba ya so wotie owura dun sam waka o say you want to show Chamawun to me where power lies enunti ena moye de moye no ana say aban ye de oye no sensam na mo aban munti na anka mo je ne passport kra na anka we nka onye problem bia mo ashada na mo tete ne sa
ya medawase ma menchia wo ne wo production team na fe menchia menuanom ne anyonkofo a onso nga twahia wo bonye achi ene ahwefo nyina na edu baby a o se nsembi wo a se wan hwe ne ye na wanyi ano a sa theory na wo de fa so bisa me se esesanka menua kasan na esanka woje ne passport to won wo hu ne da ben MPP fu hu sa theory da ben wo kusuai sa de mmiri bi atwam na sa de ni ho wo kire chachuchi katam susumu ne aden jonjina pomo ne aden na sa theory we ebi ni ho wo yo me no wo je ne passport to wa enyeye wo se nantwi achacha si na achia wo se yesarade nan ede ebi si oni pa echi di oyefu nua ma mimi sawo na mimi se tiefo aloya fo wa MPP how many regional chairmen wo any 16 twins how many of them no ngato nsafre or even police kura wo one district afre wonder obia anything Chamawun to be so your government appointed that onye CEO dan no wo fi power wo ko sa cars wo de fi abankas no hwe so ya mahina
yeah but you try be win and say na government aban fidie wo
cars wo de fi dan na kogu wo no dan
o de
unti ofoforo na ofoforo na forward amount what you say I mean can't say chiro ye wo him and the minister ye lands lands and what natural resources and you abuji dapo and you no Bible issue statement say won to me any license and work forest bu ye galamsey it was in an Akufo-Addo who appointed him Martin Ayisi chief executive of my friend is a minerals commission ono your penny ohwe yen from a good in ade gina so they also issue a statement meboa also want to be illegal mining me it was in Akufo-Addo the former president of the Republic of Ghana His Excellency eno ko gina Akufo-Addo e bra kana shigbe can see a petition police in ade about want to be mon kasa nkyere no. It was an Akufo-Addo who defended Wun to me. because you're untouchable. Minia, yemraso. Obi a oye lawyer, oyo otutwaje won't me. Ofreno and the Agya Kwabena, the former MP. Ono no ko no ba, ono no ne won't me ko, ono no ye we or ko ye say. Asem obeka ya na say MPP supporters na wo ye dede no. Woni mu ne awoka. Because won't me arrest. I intentionally wrote it here. I see. But your woman quote to the I say won't me's arrest by Yoko was carried out under the authority of a warrant. This is and the Agya Kwabena, a lawyer. Onu no tutagin enyeme inti obia oye organizer obia oye NPO so ono de wakọ parliament be yem panga biesa no oye minority leader. I was surprised. So what to be captured parliament the whole nation so manga tuaba mu constituent atuaba pa mo say muna munim nyansam wonim de go and represent us na mo ko se magana na san ko free to me kabachirim mo nga ka kire Ghana for say ye nya parliament adwuma na nya no china na ye be kwa kotena form. Look at these people. Enti MPP na yedim da rochan Alajeten, J.H. Mensa, and former President Kufuor and the rest, no, Dambo Chemono, MPP Neni. So what na form
generation
MPs to me what na form
and send their generation
ya to aba mano
a way of protest
a show of protest
a year more me that was say now he no what prevent your federal markings e wo court. I wouldn't say federal markings to me ma a whole district assembly elections ACC or Ghana or stop way if you remember because of one issue. But the injunction court say the whole Ghana may restarting. Kaya bonina na ye won ayi na twagui. One person. The same federal markings will call court 2 hours within as a man within 2 hours on a CJ. Federal markings who is preventing him from going to court. Sa court won't know because a love according to the lawyer based on the lawyer's assertion na me jira so yi o say warrant it was authorized.
Yes, we agree, but bill no na ye kan wase
tie what they member me you tie am fa won sa ma nya abre de betwa
onka bill no wase
so what you say enu na doso okay no they what they want you me an example no so and the court you were branty be our friend Charles Edubahene meboa National Signal Bureau na no ya no MPP for or your one member no you one appointee sika finance say ni we say why adwiri ma on na yere ni aden bail condition ni high 120 million meboa also to me oye ya onya any fa no kwai court and a court vary and about 80 million and onya ejigirachi 80 million
and next I know do change amount to
be we didn't hear anything about that.
Court never hear.
And you see these people one term so they me want say all of a sudden sad terms na hear if you want vocab go to court ahira now MPP is not they are scared. Who is there? He don't know why kaka moto bi wo court ntia wo turo se wo beko ho na obi a won ato aba ma wo me ka kire mo amoto aba nyina ma MP se no you see en kan no wo se mpanyinfo wo kasa bi wo kan wo se say na wo peti wo hwiase a enhwe asehwe no ba bi a wo hwe na mo hwe ba bi a wo petri no e bia na dunsin bi si wo nti ne be ye ne se wo be make sure se wo betu dinsin no if you was sending a beya unyan so mepira pori dua wo say ananse wakoye dem wakodi awun wonte kuma aw papa wo wakwa se na wotonko sani ye we ya anen kekan bia eni nyina so ne muamo ne mo yanya sadi yen kotena form MPs.
So no say a form of protest.
I said what kind of crowd actors say you dishonest.
I didn't.
That one.
What you walk at me pacho. What the man?
I didn't know this. I didn't know this.
Agya Kwabena, some of the words you need to comment.
When him the NT Abekasan, they told the whole nation say one kotena parliament in your collaboration and your juma da until say when you want to be if you want. Who of us?
The same painful so abrofo kind of say it's only a fool who doesn't change his mind.
And you make country Ghana for say if you pacho won't change you won't agree. That is the right thing for them to do. They should tell Ghana and the so you're honest. Now some verbal threats. And yet it doesn't gel anything. One person what kind. What's the if we have opposition? What's the kasa na you better than who you to be your hute? And the same kasa na kasa thing in top onko. E mra kwanso. You kwase mo kind say. Say na why you nti ye the warrant a chere lawyer. Ye hian. Ye kwa ni ko hwehwe mu no. Say na say. Minua. Nti e no kware. Say win to me akwa koje $10 million. So obedi aburo wo Ghana na wanua na e no kwa inspector fu na no de obi afu akwa chere na. Aya no kware
one who be from Yoko
sanse bi aya no kware say won to be akwakoje kwan kokoro so obeye o se wa ye kwan ye ni problem abanga sisa no and the chief of staff issue statement and wakache institutions nyina so bia nya payment ntuo bia ka mama ye mra na ye mahwehwem ye fa ne mama to kwan ansa na ketua bia o wa o se moja atum obia na mo boko ye the president Mahama esiso on the 7th on the 8th no ngatua utubika wotua ne ka 52 million Ghana cedis na we yi mu 11 million mo for 11 million Ghana cedis income tete no 110 billion say 110 no fiscal cash no corridor the remaining one no and no divide on the bond no the be insurance we yin is a few so that count the kotom na I empty we so you will be a yes no money laundering in your bemu a just say cross border crime cross border offenses
me say answer na ombe hu say bibia ti sa no waye no na mo ahwehwe mo adu akire hu say waye ampa answer be hold no man no som na akire say du ba bia so mo dipa ni be o de no call court within 48 hours o de no call court na one fa na call court a mani be o nipa 48 hours na twam one fa na call court order so awo custody na enye ne fa wo de ne yeti aso
eya mama me za was say yeti ye nyina ya tene kura say da je say bia wo nga enkan o pese sebe we ja na ngetre wa no afurudua na go aka kire ni wanye bi da eja
now how does it come in
you see the whole thing yema me kasa ne say mo and what they want to be quiet or no pen of Ghana ha the bi obenya asem wa himfia na court bi ya so yare ono pe want to be be yare se ya kuma se santi regin and otiko so you see obi anim no yes we from to be happy no rush no hospital ko da ho so yare anyway so na you kwa fa wo na wo betina se no lawyer say to be akamuti abachiri mu na fa within that move for 48 to 24 hours so 48 hours no within beyond within the person and now feeling sa wo yare
na so no yare ampa
what the top problem yo wo yare a wo so what ya say interrogation ya de is koda ho bra it is our first day now so tenase na ko tenase na ye no okoda hospital so nothing went on. The following day or by our better na nyumre bi o se so kosa do yare so ti asinti no ni won custody all the hospital for the was him. But now police, the state security is on him. And muna wo yes a woman bail condition no.
Okay.
Kwana kofa bail a yini brana some keka wo ho abomu no. You see, I dey make us MPP. You see,
I answer me. But
see, me patcho ma me fancy so won anya ne sa. Nti MPC na wo ho no bia so ni dan. Information yet in so bia suro. So they dang back kwasia wo wanu nga bisa so we dey nya wo dan. Information wo TV. Eja wo TV.
Obi na eka.
Wo so TV. Good. Obi anya no kwara yo. Wo wie na ese so we ni nyina wie no won grant be no. According to and appear could be lawyer no. O say as at 8 o'clock nora. Na yoko officials. E wo office ye adwuma se wo be grant be na ma do. En wo hwa na wo be serve wo say gari ni mako. E di case na say court. So kwa vary wo court vary a big bond no and the conditions no enti what the you dey na officials say ande you ha na we adwuma what the aba MTJ say joda and you be kwa face court enti you be documentary and enti na me bo ka wa say wo pese wo ja na nyira wa and na wo furu dia
yaw me ndima okay. Maybe divine so as makoya house. Everybody anywhere. Embrate musuna fe. Any so at the efie de no so abata no say divine. And some aye ken wo hu. I can say ade no aye wo ho na uko social media na wakote asem foforo bi. Wo kwa na wakote asem foforo bi. Yesi na fine ko sin he na cars bi ho nsem bi. Anyway, nsem be and a money laundering and a wine and one some ababa be do be a dre any dear lawyer and the appear could be air can and run again as for divine. When I said do be a dre.
Yo, me that say. The dika no, mamichia. Ahwe for native for nyina. Ni titiri ni nkoma me constituency for na utu Senior West for. Omusi omohwe na.
Mokra mo MP ni
no, Agarbella. Gisela. Nti no me nua Porsche anso hwe. Nti me chia Porsche ende obi bia ohwe me. Untumi asem ya abeto we. Me just sure se me nua no mo abrobro ho aka ho asem a na de asem we nyina no de me pese nyina e betwe adwen akwakosi no se before NDC winning power any before ya even able to about December 7 for no. Now Chairman to me was a person of interest. Nature say in some abano da nature say to me no as I say questions be one more oba no be yisa and some no ano. Now some of the concerns and raising and as allegations I will make against Chairman to me no. And yet, then I about even the party for crap a petition. Nanado. Okay, I say CSO's phone in our cabomu at the petition at the Coma Nanado over the environmental issues. Now, Omjidi say Chairman to me, Eddie no Ecojimuno. But being in an Kenfuano, didn't ya? Now, the Chairman to me, can answer say, Wabe untouchable because. President Nankasa sign it every opportunity obenya bia what I say also President Koko Fodia na obi an bisa na asem a topic ayeka no wuntumi asem unim e ho no ko sign akonta mines 40 say omunye eboni bia mi wa no no nkasa ni minister Abuji Napo any Mr. Isi Minerals Commission for Baby issue statement say no man license say obetumi aye am my name e was Tano Nrim forest
Tano Nrim forest me say enu asanso kwa me nyameche
okoye
e ko bi oni nananom a eni nananom ahemfo ko e ma enkrofo bi e kotwa akwam so pirim video no kwa yes video no wa na wo kasa no ka bibi say ayi krofobi CSOs bi a press conference bi ati say that time na ye bra na womo pre presidential
chairmanship
that be womo pre say
primary no
na isusu say owura muntumi wo Dr. Baumiafa into a press conference can say me for ora Kennedy Japan and I can soon call for a press conference. Na press conference from here the actually say betumi ahwe video briefly na ensamra sisi ai
na ye this press conference be say say nyuma na wo he wanye Musiasu road wanye Trebuom wanye Mpasatia wanye Bompata wanye Antwa Krom to Asoni Manson Kwanta wanye Ahisa Fire Service to Lake Road Omeka baby asa contract no wo chia wonya ye na se obi beto ama party anye nipa dodo be register eye kwa we a obeye a nipa ekom kroma obenye so afa no eno no obe na so afa ba and ya kasa wo se party na jitum you say one constituency 1 million no say 20% Emma police station agents, regional and constituency executives. Sorry. Now, you call a middle belt authority, no? A chair said 20% Romatia. I'm a chairman. Yes, this can I here. One out the man, no. And then out the year, we are by this press conference asking you because you have decided to engage in a war of press conference. And we are giving you the same measure. Also by a press conference there, yes, the press conference is out 20%, you know, and we're fighting. Phone to me, yes, on 20 ampa. Ampa. The Yano. A press conference near why and yes, and shall say 20 no ampa. Did you use your position as party chairman to acquire it? We are asking you this question because the subject matter is who is destroying the party. Yes. Kennedy Japan tobe 700 pickups sama party no. And the minister said na person say party no talk you know. You call in a split parliament Kennedy Japan the two come here call majority.
We ebra na womo pre say when the betu frankadia ma party no na press conference how do course wo MPP party womo aye so MPP ema ana womo so mo wo ura kan Japan echi na womo so womo ye womo so press conference kan say how do be na divine sansem womo kan you be ka say is because of politics because of election say be womo so womo candidate ni betumi enye nimbi ewo ebia party na nimu nti na ebia omo so mo ye bibia etisa na wo kasa bichio
enti na me kan kwa kwesisi se untumi no at a point now you're untouchable yen kana sem unze sansem we to so nyina no obi betumi aka se wo ebia ensem keka nkofo na press conference e kan but we didn't so one respond and I said there was not official statement bia from party and as a government at the time to issue any disclaimer said this particular in some more can remove any no the medical can say there is not a single individual or organ has sick and I mean no kasaya or ya above the law and I say or no chain marabiaso or be any honor apart from president or no at a certain level no nyama bi wo be ya fa no ho adi free no emra no kire obi bia o ye Ghana ni bia se wo de mra no fom mra no a emra no kire kon be fa so a mra no ene wo bedi enti no me chema untumi se nya nsema ba no I'm not here say me ba be justify say why boni ana onye boni ana say I'm not going to hold brief bibia but me concern is say o ye Ghana ni ti see nyina se mra na so ni mu a yenja yemra no na mra no ni sania esesene fata diama asem we nyina akwa asem a dede aba ho bebre is because of how the party and our MPP for no aso asem no mu a omo ye ho dede say chema untimi ye ya target no ana say ebi omo we chante ana omo tata no because say oye MPP ni for me say obia afomemra ana say Ghana resource bi akwa kudi no and as wa mismanage bibi in the name of the country affect here na sem no so ne pechi na sem no ne dealia enya dia me have any qualms and as issues bia and moreover no you know for me what I find quite hypocritical and a bit disingenuous on the side of the MPP guys in say so far metiati here ye nyina ye bedi atomu say ye amend the constitution ye sesa mra bi aye the same laws no a enura bi no na MPP aban na nado eyusu ya na asemu bia ni hu a omude ye de omu ye ya ye nyina na yetimu ibi no se same mra na se mahama so eyusu mra ni bi why should you have problem other than say o the uja lie say you use the same mra ni bi hwe mami nka se mi kire MPP for twa se bia utie omo commentaries and remarks on social media and even in the media. There's one adebia e cut across say ye ba yes you nya time wa you nya opportunity you show them where power line in the power lines in the keka Agya Kwabena mi bisa ho me emfa me ho ne party ebeba power so obi adi bone na oman sika fa ne nsase a esemra no ani ni di regardless it boka kire say you are looking for an opportunity say wo de wo ba be punish wo opponent because say why obi bia wo ne ntiase a me I disagree with you to an extent. What they are trying to tell Ghanaians and they say ye di bone ye wi sika munjaye Mamon Kayasem, yes, you ba, you be jam. It is the same obi at it for that. Scratch my back, let me scratch your back. Because for you to threaten, say, yeah, yo, but no so bad, baby. That's the only justification. We are anchored on constitutionalism and as a law. That's just mere emotions. A person who expresses who about it means that you are telling us, say, ye massa. Even say corruption, the thievery, and the siphoning of state resources, should continue unchecked or unabated. And only idea yet to me so so. And you know one thing, any a tour bampacho, and you know one thing a tour ba, Edema MPP, NDC. So good will now Mahama enjoy any overwhelming support our 2024 elections. One message was clear from Ghanaians to say, go and recover all the loots. And Niama abanda there we are baby sikani and Niama nyina kwa akodino. Make sure say we to me recover now the sikani had their brain. It was support masses no e support President John Dramani Mahama say on recover all these things. It person better be say father for all and I say I feel so mo kwa question dan echi ho no no na feel so mo kwa negotiate akwa di nkomo. Hwe omo ka about Rambo style any high-handedness and I say the fact say they believe say Chema Untumi mrano no enini
omu miemu dodo 50 million Ghana cedis bailey say too much.
You know, I'm even surprised. Do you know the MPP Niama omu dey nkrof, I'm telling you, not even a fraction of the omu dey and happen and starting you share my more example Dr. Hindum. What can I say or the SEC any BOG
security and it's
commission
for
BOG any government of Ghana echo court because as a result of the revocation of the license of the companies in the account now same court and can be one day that's sorry na ya be ransack office honum you see NIB abe ransack office honum wa wabeyi ni laptops ni database ni systems ni nyama nyina de koye ni be omo de up to today and sa enyama na aban be fire no na enu se ni ade any evidence and say ni exhibitor obe yusu e wo court e de aka na sem ene be fa ko e obi akasa wa ha sei yenti o memu ha sei grigri afoko for 6 years
and na court
ye granted ni bail say on ko fie o ma meet condition no bibia obi tina office say hey emra no ye adwuma emra no me fa nya adwuma beda prison 6 years obi chen obi o memu ha say ana say ebi mu ye special breed of people bi omo de ye nka omo asem omo de say ba say ye ni omo deal say ye ni omo deal in a special way. That thing cannot continue say obi person chese onu de o che obi so ana so omo de e ba omo side a ye nka asem ye sesa mbra no more or less like the way we are handling the Chief Justice in Semono. A bomb so ya we mbra no pa mbra no to nchen na omo de so de omo pese ye nye no no ne fa nye ne sa assemble kwame ha me was asem we nyina is the way our leadership no conducting business ni say no mo ye niamam and it clearly shows say they are manipulating the cognition of their gullible followers.
Oh, I take strong exception to that.
I mean, you know why?
Agya Kwabena, to me, man,
you can
gullible. You have to be a gullible. Just say obia ono amfa na dwen and take decisions. Na ni obi be no timi manipulating. You can't say that about us. You see?
Okay. Let me say let me I don't like that. I don't like
that word.
Which word? Gullible always. Somebody's gullible. Even me at every point somebody can be gullible. You say all one we are
party base are not gullible people.
Like they match to that place.
Arrest of Wontumi is political.
When you gullible. Oh really?
What is
gullible need yes or
on gullible ni enko.
And that's the trick Omo play. And their supporters you know say Omo leadership na obi a pra na chi o nanabi because of a contesting say Omo who say Omo activate the base general secretary Omo jinam na me be can say me asemu nyina koba na eye me tipo asemu hia me kese ne say Richard Anyagba Omo communication director anamewa
yeah
any nanabi on this your platform Omo make key statement be for me I will describe reckless and to an extent senseless and say Omo say the way if it continues like this they will make the country ungovernable. Do you know sir that statement is heavier than obi obeka sobeyeku? Because when you decide that you will make the country ungovernable what you are saying is that you will make sure say anarchy and because just said there will be disorderliness like obi abetuma e ope. I'm telling you say for mpanimfo sa mo sabi you munim experience amowo na mo be make this statement we no me who sabi you nyansa bia e was asem because when you do that you are trying to say so man you to mean them but what they forget is say omo inciting of war and it's going to be a battle between the bourgeoisie and the proletariat, the upper class and the lower class, and it will get to a point I wouldn't say difference be a mbmo now when the lower class rise now make us move face here any about MPP NDC it will be about those at the top because we are getting to the point that who is citing what say munko krom munye boni munye say omuni fie omuni baby omote yeni baby omo omuni family so to incite see what they are trying to tell us and say what they are forgotten say who say baby apa omugina no omo demonstration na omo ni omo supported for the kasa no say oye na bi si na bibi gidigidi the people will turn against them because they will go after them. When you have properties or sika all the things you have amassed for yourself as leaders in those days any positions are mu holding here no mu be see there this sika no if there is not your friend say if there is anarchy who be see there do sika no who be see there enjoy peace how they say who no be nyadwin the people of South 4 years were denied representation in parliament obi ko shey tie obi ko kum obi because oni obi nyadwin onim niama MPP 4 year ya nyina one day finance minister any bondholders for contracts say ya bebo bosia omo ho every month bi edu a betua mo say and say 3 months bi and say based on arrangement no or decided one day so no akasa kwa negotiations be musika no because of DDP no yemfa sika no ento on ma yentumi ntua mo e mo no be decided say when how betua no obi ko say finance ministry say agini sika ya farmer no yet ha say you close to banks some case some the customers for sika be mo tua ma ye omo ntua me ti hey makoko obi do you know what people have gone through ni na na abu ya ni aguso na mu dia mu say se mu ni obi enya adwen a ana say because mu disagree esesa mu benetize esesa mu shikro
obi am benet
those in 2017
okay
in Kofua ye ko sizi omo niama ye je omo passport ni omo obi anya obi ahwe Agya Kwabena obi enu onu mu a ochi obi say ye decided the way ni niama niama omo yi we it has never happened before but me sa supporters for no a omo sebi o omo di chairman wontumi achi le bia me de me kan say
you see sa brofo ni biem go no
oh there be me kan sa supporters for no me concern is say me sorry keke nja mebusua ho ne me family na me sorry say me kwakodi obi achi saa keke wa bra nipa no what awa ma se ni sika wanya ne si bibia wa ye bia no minim ho hwe ti o me no ka say omo ne ma e wa abrochire wa ma no ne wo wa sorry akogina kwan ho say wo kwa akobọ na chidom akoye dede wo koye dede say den
ense so man ko ene esenko bi anko demonstration
Debbie
eye right
Debbie who cross me pesa
Debbie who can say
who distort me line of argument me pesa
say wa sorry akoso
eye right so supporters no me bisa o mo amakogina ho no no chairman untumi no tam no ye ne party about 8 times no more aban mu no ko bi
Debbie
wo chile bi odisika no ma wo bi who enjoy be a sorry and opportunity to asemu ni mu bi you accusing of money laundering fraud very say corruption ni amaniama ni nyina oni who history oni who relationship bia na kaja MPs for ye e bia ko beka sponsor omo enke bia jadi pakuma bi but mo sorry a wo si wo di akire wo
so a party ba
almost
a party for
obi so nya 1007
you who say a party for
obi so nya 1007
eti divine what ma onu sine yan hwe bed condition omo ka say 50 million eno ni no argument no 50 million bed condition omo say is too high but what tie de na omo kana adubu ahen dey 120 million and e ko nego eye 50 and 120 it's about 110% or 130% and ana a chairman ultimate but no ya nten hwe no dent na ogidi se bi ekokoba sa
hwe on dent a me say na me ka che say politics as usual what the lawyers are lawyers of untumi asem mo kan o say we should stop the theatrics and then the political theatrics and focus on making sure say me use emra no the lawyer no say your politics no mo ye kra na kasem bi ani hu because o say emra kwan so no mo fa so a one omode inviting us omode course ayi ko secondly bail conditions in am nyina no already no negotiations cost what omo reach the point that my friends and lawyers for sureties in the can
ready
procure BBI okay
8 p.m.
But you see the party decided say it's some year politics into some flag bearer so ko show kakra ho no be ehun so no so aba around as I said Kennedy Japan so call no so call fans kakra as I say national organizer so call no so so show solidarity as I say MPC for so omu wie until say omu chain no obi abekwa kwaji fans ne kakra ewo baby ayati wuntumi no yenje fans ni wie ye dia ene obua o iti fans no ana omoje ne kakra itu nza omoje fans ni wie ni ti no omoje wie ni ti endra ye be granti papa ni bail
so
omoje ye wie
omoje akotwi
ochira kra be ye bio Sunday kra be sanso de krofo aba because e so mo ginger omo base Agya Kwabena sa bail enyama omo keken nyina see they know say in lawyers of what you say they had an opportunity and come back akovari omo decide yes omo up to say omo nko omo be twen omo yesi ni nyina tricks ba me de ma no si won sa ensem we nyina Agya Kwabena me kan kwakosi say untumi nchen onchen obia onchen embre bia onye special breed onye obia ye be ka say onu no de edu ni so a emra no se ne yete no yensesa no President John Dramani Mahama so miss this fine opportunity to hold erstwhile government appointees accountable to account now make obia odin insafo for abansi kana why be na se one dealing with them decisively through the law. See, Ghanaians will never forgive him.
That's it. Yeah, so yeah, obi yeni abaku bi de ye message bia send me about say obi betuma ka say they will make the country ungovernable no ye wo emra e wo mani mu a so between be na no kasa so twen wo ho no e between dia man brepam ewa brepam meje bre na ya bobọ so ne atumi ahwe ye hwe se obi eye bibi na ye de na ko se ne ye kam so yokufo na edi bail condition ato no so enye court legally say yokufo ade bail condition to obi so a does it hold a wo to me to say court de no and now say woman ni ho kwaso mo de to so e ma ne bro level be because per the year tie no they say the bail condition is too much 50 million Ghana cedis the other sa na argument ni sitie wo wadwene mu no ene onim die mu no ene omra nim die mu a onim die awo no bro sa na de toto edubo ahedie 120 million and now say ye court na de 2 years say one de 2 years no yoko bail condition court bail condition ni nyina de ni on say e bail condition e bi chen bi
eja me da say mecha atiefo eja mina na be say fikese mu conform a me batake say akomba me so na me say chairman asai bi dia na che say nka bibie
e ba yi na say chairman say na wo say say chefo mu say na wo
oh ja
no sa no
yentu asu but the who here ni say in some no yeah there are different layers of it. The dika meka CP say party card any insurance for bonnet, and that is important. So ukuta party card MPP NDC PPP any insurance for bonnet. They toso mienu answer ni enkosi say ebebua wo for no udibem. These are two critical statements. I would expand. The dika ukuta party card any insurance for bonnet. They are tossing me enkosi say ye bebua wo for no udibem. Ndiche maun to me then aba. Whatever the basis of ne bonia ye hwehwem no. At this stage, chemaun to me endi for ewo mra bia ho. And that is important. Ye jitum say hwehwem na ye hwe ni mu dia. Then the constitution clearly states say was say ye treating so obi as be only for because he's innocent until proven guilty. Eja constitution no over article 14 also obi our liberties none so except in certain circumstances G no say upon reasonable suspicion of having committed or being about to commit a criminal offense inti owo kwan ba udru G bibi nyema ankrankra bi wo ho a oya yetimi je wo fa ahodie fi wonsa adia ba ko yetimi ma ye je wo fa ahodie fi wonsa se yesus reasonable suspicion se wato mra anase obeto mra bi inti yes the dikai pa uputa party card any insurance for bonnet nanso engosi se ebebua for no dibem but the money catcher say ofa ahudi awo no yetimi fa mra kwan so je ofa ahudie say yesusu say why your boni bi your reasonable suspicion say why your boni bi anase obeye boni bi a yetimi je ofa ahudie fi hunsa eja yenim say the same 14 no eneka 48 hours no oko 14.3 that is 14.3 B. That is where the 48 hours is. But the 48 hours, my men to me was na minchem we member obi unas. So police and investigative body be achewa or 48 hours. Within 48 hours, no susu so here and mere 48 hours now. Odoko court now a court sre for remand. Inti 48 hours no is only so that odobeba court or susu say within the 48 hours. If you say muna o ye ni CPR. I was also but no best remedy become home. And that the run usually about 2 weeks. Into your ceremony become then he can keep you in remand. No akoso any mu. So say at any point in time within the 48 hours no say o ma ko na so of tone and safra now bebe biema. And mama no kwan so ma police inquiry bail. And now say odobako court na court ama bail enti bail no said you be so nchen bi
okay
what is to answer your question directly? Police, let's say about police inquiry bill. A bill to say the Obako court or court, no case or more remand or lawyer bit me as say amount bill. Not court amount bill, and a court beka say, a be a radio all my BM or the Nesa Beka BB into a courta, a be a yam remandino. Into 48 hours, no kwa mubet me ache, I could see now to me na chi akwa mubet me ache BM. Ababra. You probably may not have been charged exactly. Inti minion no lawyer no. I think it's important that meaning him say 48 hours no. In this case, Yoko could have gone to ask for more time, and Yera Wontumi could have been remanded pending investigations. Having said that, I think that they hear Potene say 54 million. I was run now. 50 million. But Tobas make a massive year. Tobo me pa.
And
we legal
lawyers PD next time I say we go face your
you see it's the 48 hours I wanted to
Inti the Ubusan say 54 million I was 50 million I was initial. I think that it depends on their year about what the amount saying the the offenses are why no saying because usually no the amount no of bail no misname any boneno usually any AC maka same way pay you are Prince Kofi Amaben I was part of that. He was granted a 110 million bail. 110. 10. That's yes. Times 2 are 10 million actually. Right. Inti so Bibeka say, and that was after Yoko almost 2 years. Inti Obibeka 50 million no was ra. Na say sebio Bose Muka na say sebio omo person who nete bi go ye ni
Mahmoud Bawumia ne kai
but who here say ente say 50 million no enye unusual depending on the say why ne the hwehwe mafa ho no it could go to any extent and a police inquiry bill no any form e wo mramu and sene court bill say your lawyer. I think the lawyer keeps emphasizing, say, "Oh, a court." I don't.
They've been charged.
We're
investigating.
And in my humble view, it doesn't change much. Police, you are a person of interest. They can request for bail, and that bail amount, should be commensurate. And I say,
and then
but it's important say me kama ni si say maka we nyina no enkyere say ye criminal procedure ni bail in say emra no eni kwa say yesisa no. I actually think say in light of progressive laws things like house arrest should be a thing. In light of progressive criminal proceedings, many again say obi okuta to me betimi afa so apanish obi onye bone. So we need to improve our criminal procedure, and to that extent many lawyer are doing. But you see, and I think that I think that the and said the hypocrisy in many says you obi the now when say all of a sudden Makona because all of suffering. As I can say, Emrano, ye improving a day year. We should improve the law. Senya Sebio, Senya ye in Kawunt, me let him on house arrest. Na ye yana yatu and Safrano. It's progressive. You bet me I can say answer na ye do obibe court. Since Mrano presume is we innocent, we would afford you the courtesies and the dignity. Kofie, but they say bibiato nine, untimi nko more than the circles of your. Those are progressive things. I was say way my issue. Any concern before to me at the punish will be because you're charging no an answer or a person of interest because Mrano say yembu for which is why meka nneɛma mmienu ukuta party card enye insurance but the toso mmienu answer na ebe enkosi se yebe bu fo no udi bem nti se udi bem dia e wo se mra no afford you the courtesy se obi a on ye bone kosi se ebedru mra bi a court beka se why bone so in that sense no e wo se yesesa mra no na obia is a for obia enye wuntumi pe obia including sebi obia yese wakɔ wi abanche ewo efuom a wakɔ remand 2 years ayenka na sem because oniska or the befa lawyer no yes samra no obia ya bɔ no kwa du kosi se yebebu no for no afforded the courtesy sa ne nyina yes samra no awu se ne sitie basem man ne tie se ne kwa MPP for dia ya adwuma kwa NDC for afaso dia ya adwuma maybe etwam no obia ntimi nka se bio yebu mra no so
la bibi chi madwenwa ma me bi sautew yehwe asam no NIB fo wom CID fo wom Yoko fo wom enti no NIB fo ebetumi aman bail Yoko fo betumi aman bail CID fo betumi aman bail sa ekuo makomako miensan no obia wotum so betumi ama bail ana
aja meda se NIB dia no enra mete o news so omo se omo de omo kra ne keke eye Yoko for na dia aba NIB so omo kra no nti NIB pote sheda ni omo de omo kra ne keke but eye between CID ni Yoko Yoko adwumanko na CID adwumanko Yoko no usually a financial crime ne anti money laundering in some no eno ena Yoko for hwehwem ena CID de ebe ebia fraud ne mining in some no inti those sa kwako ni mienu obia ebeka ze jurisdiction anase omo tumi eyesronko obia wo ho kwan se ohwehwe mu ekosi babia emrama no tumi kosi inti omo mienu no ese okọ CID okoye na oba ade chenye inti CID ni di awo CID mraso ba Yoko so wo ho mra so no so be ya ni de inti Yoko so abefa no enchere se CID de nasa CID de no so wo ho inti obi ehwehwe mu ekosi so obi abebo no kwado na obi ade ne charge potin bebo no na obi ade ne charge bona na se either so mo be consolidate all the charges into one nafi chama to me ako atwitwaje no ho wo court na the court no be kama na kosi no eho na emra ni besi eja wadaroma
yo
I think say we should condemn the recklessness in the statement to make say yebema or minor on governor and it's important why I'm emphasizing that because I think say from a layman's point of view one way na work say strategy be say be obi a yahunu ni say wedi boni and say be obi a who should be held accountable bia no yebeba abontia be ye kire public order there are laws around public order sebi who quite constitutionally say ye kire but emra wo ho na no bia na amrante bi ye galam say ene nso ho ye kire ye the people I know personally e to remand for 2 weeks na ye nka omo ho asem inti sebio obi antimi sori abonten ko gina ho enye say said remonacha ye nimba bia oti enye say mama for metete shita lawyer so man shita it's in the news people were burning ties say you will make the state ungovernable because people are being held accountable. I think say we should all condemn that without doubt. Yen condemn categorically. Now hunu ni say omani to me no esha ominings esha president any legislature any judiciary insa so mo ba ye the emrasi onye. Yenina 2024 elections, no accountability was one of the key principles. The yebehwe ni say emrano nye juma sebio mo bia amfa mrane nsa enkosi say obetimi aye de ope ye chi obi a ono so ebema o man na ungovernable. Every single person our mind susu say sika bia kodi ni ho a enfree enye ne kwan so no ye nyina hwe say oman no ebe famra kwan so edi on nyina aba book na me de ma no si no me can say your finance minister any special prosecutor letter mu no o ka say obeba by 30th May 30th May enra me bon kaye number busa say e bia wabani yehu ya na say semnu kosi say because I think said the principles of accountability in my humble view and open the base VMI because so bia susu say me kuta party card na say insurance bone ho dia na che say man no Agya
one of our cherished viewers Oshaye pa from US every mu no na oboa with information na ne some can say statement na say we made the country ungovernable no na my say Criminal Offences Act 1960 Act 29 section 200 and 207 or say bibi say sia odipa no or say obetumi akodem 25 years especially if violence or unrest follows to odipa na some kan ye no say ko ba say they make the country ungovernable na pa basabasa sia ebetumi dan court ama ya kokotwe na so and afi Anti-Terrorism Act 2008 Act 762 so no or say if the statement inspires rebellion or sabotage odipa no betu adam 7 years ama what you mean approve say asam no kan no ati obobo emra ni sisa wo do bebre ya say ko ba say obi bue no ne kan sem bia na say na no asam no be kan ye no bibi ko si e wa na asam no kan no so pepa asotwe wo say bi obi akoka say wo de twen na obehu no obi ni ma de obeyo twen na obekọ na wawu da ho a wasam a kan nti no ebetum de wakọ Dr. Padu Dr. Padu wow meaning part to be go so Doctor enkomo ye die no ye di enkomo wi asa man say nyina e hwe yen se Ghana so ye ni abre se ye pese chiro man na na se esusu se obi aye bibia esese ye de emra no ene oman ni di kan ana se se de party edi kan ye hwe de asisie da ene de AC ye beka oru chachu de ye beka we de ye beka e betu aka de bebre so esese ye ma emra no eye adwuma esese emra ne oman no hu hia ye kane se ye de party nsam no ebedi kan nti enfa ne se de ye nyina ya nante akoko tena yoku aye dede amafo bon trene mini bebi a wotie meye wuse metwa sa sign no ene de manema ni nyina no ekoba so dipa na de boni ampa adwen ben ani ben ana bia sama sa de behwe yen
Agya Kwabena ase bebre mechia etifo na hwefo nyina mechia me students of Pentecost University a o ma start o mo so hwe I wish them all the best say o mo ncho ni si o yi komodi e de say Agya Kwabena me certificate me Brian lawyer na so kan ni say party card no enya insurance say obedi bone say ma AC ma me ni je wo ho say ama afei politicians are o ma fire say timamu form o ma fire no mu na on pe no ye I saw the di agro bi I say of the bobo if you say politician we dey rap politics one say o hia na hia wo kra we bet na ye we dey rap politics one we nya adwuma da kra we bet nya sika aye ajapade kese che say we dey rap politics one position a wo pe bia wo sabetumi aka we dey rap politics one adwuma contracts ense wo anaso wuni hunim de bia we bet na for kwan bi so anya sa contract no ana position bia ense wo political cloth awo e wo party nti no ubetumi anya sa position no sika ense wo because of politics a wo do hu awura mu nti no ubetumi fa hu anya sa sika no ana se nipa bi mpa nka okwan bi so no ye ntimi mu a wo mo ma wo munya positions bi no ubetumi use political influence ape position bi aka enru no so anaase ense no e de aman oba fatima mufuo no muma politician for ne amope enom de ye ne ayekosi some of us no like a political ball game for me no me exciting very interesting because a better politician for himself politician oh yeah na politics oh yeah anaase me timamuni a ma to aba ama wo no say wa mfa obuo ni di ama me a emre bi ba wa kase sama wo ye akokoti sama wo ye eni tumie bi a wanyanti utubi ye ne a wo pe no emre bi ba you be held accountable politicians for no for too long Ghana for na ye dan yankopon say president Mahama waba ama waba ye hu enime bi a ne pai bon say obeto aso because the arrogance I the year politics for my no wo dwen ho a because Agya Kwabena nka wo politician ye timamufuo ya ye nsani enfata ye ni ato aba ma wo ya nto aba ma wo aba ma wieni anko parliament ana nya minister position you are nobody ena me ma to aba ma wo no wo mu me wo fa me nye hwe no laborafo messengerfo adetonfo wo mo tax nkete ya ye gie no eno eni ri tu awoka eti nka obi aba to aba ma wo a mia so okwan bi so no mi se tu awoka ekoba ne sen ena fe wa koye kese enya tumi ahoden eye akasem bi a chese obi kra ni osu tumi na me ni aye hu ni se senia lawyer ya welcome politics am e bi ma so arrogant so proud say chese odwesi o so nu kra anya so touch na nyi so untouchable me nka asi ni ekoso no me de bebre in terms of chairman Wontumi no but then ye jina nim politics ya famu if you Rollins mre so be say ne day ye nim the behavior and conduct of politicians ye nim woma nka omun sehwe a che say omun ka hwe na so politics ti ne omun so aye nipa a che say fe wo ba ko jejina bia o ka o masema enyeyi na kakra metumi aka fa ho say sad ye ekosui etwe adwene ekosi bibi so say politics no e game bi a say dia hombrase na ye o man ye die no man kan ko o man Agya Kwabena me no aka severally o ha say nka o man je Ghana nyame wo hirayen papa hira nyankopon hirayen no enye ye tibia ni ayesi wo muni wo hwe ohia bebre se wo hwe obre na yade a eposa Ghana fo a nka enye ne ayese yie ni
enne kra ye ka say amanfo water kra de nso wo monum aye bottled water wo monum nyina afi akra na eko
sa no now so the wickedness Simon train the wickedness of your candy for e ka ho ne ama Ghana ye bre etika ya e ti wonfu a ohia bebre se adwuma hwe nra wo mo ma nursing school e ka so over 100,000 awie school etifie omunya adwuma ye wa wie school 100,000 nursing for a just o come class bi school omuhia om service pao na so for mo adwuma mu a e dey because e bi sika dodo a be tu omunya aka no nya na nipa ka krebi afa kwan bi so ama ya ye di tumi ama wo mo se monye o man na bebre so man no kan ko monye fa mo e ho bra sense o man na se ehia wo mu ehia wo mo obi ye die o makase sem obi sika o majapade o mo yire no ma ho ye die eno ho eno ho dwene na say over 100,000 medical nursing students awie no to fee no munye adwuma apart from over 200,000 graduates are almost awie school pomu a munye adwuma na say oh my Ghana ya di dipa fasa o hawu ni ka krebia konya position ye di ama o mo enye so mo bre mu ana o mo modern boss no ye ne ma o sa kwan nya ni say o mo di sa so wicked another to more dinner so me a dear dozo reho I don't see many other causes I am the papa because a back high politician for say nia wuyi sika waj say waji awudi adwuma ya e ja hye wo sase ye wo hwe no hwan antwani ye nyi ana se contract de ma wo sika ewo mu na wudi ne mu fa nye contract there's coming a time when you are going to be held accountable accountability eba ya manwumu no begin say ya se papa ye nyina ya se ye boy president abaso say nia o ma sha ase no because this is your first time ye nim so aba asamba na we me begin say president Mahama o wa kuma pa wa dwempa because the last time na wo say oja bibi to ho my the kai me say the last time oba ya Ghana for over 1 million ya vote amanu oba ye no odi be gina ho a sa de no di gina ho accountability no say kai politician ni bia say uko ra politics we nya quick way and now kwantie bia be fast so enya sika nti o enya yi nkwa o ye die mu o there's coming a day that you be held accountable saa me no edura enya saa mre na si pa bi e kan ho bomu say ye kan ho bomu abedi wachi na eya reho because politician for ye o musa na me nwa because ni nya ohianti di peti bi kan ho bomu say obi akodi ni sika ni a kire no na ye say ni tuma esi mi kodi na chi for what now o hwe nia the petty fo ankasa kra o mo kan sika dodo edma no obose sen obose wadi wo mo onye ye ni e kan o the petty fo say yes kwan we sika edma no ai den wadi I mean look at onu petty fo na wo hwe petty fo na no kwasen bebre ni nia ekoso nti ni ija ko so aye kan enya asem foforo asem a ekoso within the political parties
let's say asem na ehye omo bono no mutumi nka na because so social media after this arrest ni ehun yi no interviews a yebobo obi anopai utie nsem omo kan ne ma hudo that say nipa bi o menasepo bi na mo naka no mutumi enka bueno eye bibia esesa amanyofo ni nyina hunu ni say pese ye say akame say bibi ba say ya esese ye ma emra no eye adwuma no na ye the political sentiment na the edi kanti no say emra no be ye adwuma nkasa no na ebunka mafaso nti no with this what did say then esese ye
the first thing and say near President Mahama and he say no ama kwan say various institutions are SSD people who are contain ema ho omunyo adwuma no ema mu eti whoever who bia che say amra no ebe chill no say mra no adwuma now first na say bohu politician for no everything bebre energy politics no o say oh wo de ye we ba obehu e chairman wo so ko free because me ba me fa ho adidi eti wo munya kwan bi a che say obi aba onye because wo kwa me so me ba I will do the same thing eti they say no nia okwan wo twa to won say nia wo ye bia no there's coming a day
accountability
accountability wo ne say the same your politics one me say be boy because the people who say yes because politics mu no ocha na ye because who ye no nipa hunu oba who say sika wo die sika ni wo enya wo dia e na wo akofa o man sika yes fa bo o man ho bra no eno e na bia wo kodi o na wo kodi a o kina ye frɛ wa o ka ne sen enti wo say esi eja ye ba ho kwan say enuanom politics agency kadie politics enye anibre politics ayo osomo ye ba be som o my Ghana ye ba be som so ye som no ahobrasie mu efi say enye timamufo na vote ma wo a nka wo unya obia ni say enye hu sa nima we e politics mu a e say anamo bi na utu a obe kon boko afi the arrogant the pride man for akasem ego politics and so better because nipa won fa mu nya hwe no wo kina wo mu e say ekutia wa o medu achi e say ene wo mu say regional chairman mu ya che no asante fo no wo him look at me who regional and constituency chairman what this has me achi it raises a lot of questions. Where are they? Any chairman to me obi enim say how powerful apart from sika what they can many people the influence the properties are ni padudu ade biom where are they omwe na me hwe say nka vast loads of supported be free Kumasi Ashanti region abapa say o maternity
but doc
but a whole so dey say we nipa way we nipa say Agya Kwabena hwe won so because asem to wa we say we are so popular we are so powerful asem to wa so nipa more
obi the mess or say a society is a mirror of its people. In Ghana today, we glorify individuals who makes harsh, reckless, and even violent statements, treating them as heroes instead of holding them accountable. When we cheer on divisive language and ignore the dangers of incitement, we weaken the very foundation of our democracy. Let's stop normalizing toxic rhetorics and start demanding responsibility, integrity, and peace from those who claim to lead us. Ghana deserve better.
Yakuna very apt.
Yes.
Very apt. But Yakuna, and some back we say meeting. Just 5 minutes. Just 5 minutes.
5 minutes. You're 2 minutes. Okay.
All right. First and foremost, as I responded to Abusian Penny Kain, party as MPP, you're making it very clear. See and supporting Obia, Wedi Boni, and answer for my Nisika. You're national organizer, we're making the statements. You're communication director, we're making the statement. Say we are ready for accountability. Party ni be anywhere Abeka say won't me ye bonia my entry so. Into that narrative, it is wrong. Your party ni tie obia and yen kondoni obia why bonia. Won't me answer na day. Ye can say Iyoko is acting without powers or war. Because you see, 48 hours. Ye chu obia o memu hasia. Or who can say obe keeping for 48 hours. Near party for year can say 48 hours in the son, then you give him an onerous bail condition. So now, me, I disagree vehemently with the position taken by lawyer and Agya Kwabena. Say, Oni Iyoko sa decision no mateki say because he file Gary Nimakwa file process be court no ese won to me shape. Emrano say 48 hours, absolute, even Saturdays, Sundays included. And he said 48 hours nesu na se yefa ni pakoni court. You cannot keep him in your custody. That is why young party for lawyer for womu say Iyoko is acting unconstitutionally.
And so only party omo keep ni sa again as say yefa say Iyoko for keep no.
I didn't say omo keep no.
Unconstitutionally. Omo de omo bo ne gumra no so.
Yes.
Again and ye be actually Iyoko for na jide so say emra na nkyere say emra ni say then say
I know na yan bebre MPs try say omo call with solidarity akotro say this is what we are saying that you are acting unconstitutional because Agya Kwabena and they want to me or chinebetimi ayo because your constitution is very clear. In fact, there's a decided case on it say 48 hours and it even includes Saturday, Sunday. And it's a 48 hours ninya sua faniko court na court enka say okay obest standing na na otwe and na otwe mienu what train ya 48 hours in so in one money bill aye honors when to me a meeting what 48 hours no dem no. So we are not saying say my party ni bia and face accountability but kwan na dey first and then want to meet them after 48 hours. After 48 hours.
Again, as a party, over the Agya Kwabena because me on only lawyer near or ye won't to me lawyer ni. It is a bibi baba on when so dear on no dim say asem no on no any young fan system legal team was whoever Dr. Galene Marco.
Yes.
And some nipa mi no hina na want to be interest with saying the uncle
with maximum respect to
no ye ni lawyer personal lawyer and then obia me no one na betu aka say owo wuntumi interest a onimu kwan a onam so amanka etumi ayi wuntumi ne yama ne
Agya Kwabena with maximum respect to senior and the Agya Kwabena his interpretation of the 14 to 48 hours is a bit misdirected Yes, because if you keep your client more than 48 hours, near money bail condition near honors, only negotiate. Iyoko has breached a constitutional provision. You go to court for either habeas corpus, you can't habeas corpus, you force the court to force Iyoko to produce your clients. Because we're breaching the 48-hour rule, and you're going to negotiate.
Dr. Pierre could be privy to information a chance to be a because he is the personal lawyer. Ebia, meba asamna mekon. Ebia ne nyina adwene say nso hwasemi na ho ehwehwemu na omo ye. Ebi so a ye kowura mu na say nye nso no nko a drink we kan cola yi ka ho, mobile phone we ka ho, watch yi ka ho, we nso ka ho. Enti no with the ye nyina adwene say nso no nko a. But ye ko wi ase no ba ko mienu miasa na bi ka ho. Enti no se de be treat nso no nko ade no, we no ba ka ho a ye be treat differently. Asamna meka. It's be na Dr. Pierre could be information be a ya watch the name.
Agya Kwabena we a personal lawyer, but also want to miss here this year.
Okay.
Or a regional chairman, or a huge member of the MPP. So we as lawyers in the MPP would also have the right to express our views. And I mean, I would argue with Mr. Agya Kwabena could be any day said position now we're taking is an affront to the constitutional provision.
I did a month more regarding my consul quiet application, because as some of the could be now as shall say. Ebia Andy, I didn't say, this when I'm cocoy, also Nimpo say, will be a unknown individual.
A communication now, but Iyoko boom raso. EKP won't to me for more than 48 hours. Also, on your negotiating. Only your negotiating saying, Nipa no constitutional provision, they say, Obien who obeyed me at Obi, not national more than 48 hours. 48 hours, Nesson, you come out 50 million bill. Won't be meaty. I want to ask court called file a dear friend habeas corpus because 48 hours, net lawyer Becca Shaw, Supreme Court say absolute 48 hours.
And TFN say,
it's your party for no, Jacob, but we make it this statement. Your party for now, you're in leadership, a call hono. Your party for now, supporters, a call hono. Yes, see, Yoko a boom raso, Yoko a book constitution and imtia. Obianka say, won't to be so I born you, I papa, there be at accountability there. Young man, Penny Kufuado. Last 2 months, Rebecca said, well, one biano, stay and face accountability. And you're not a party for what could a party in India say won't to me when this car party in India can say near party for can say Iyoko a boom raso na dent no boom raso the angel boom raso some person which won't to me where paralyzed.
But I know the young guy is not a fact. Your money bill now on. But it's in you. And know your mom said
still because I'm running 48 hours. What you only pakun 48 hours and your baby be you know 48 hours next one you cannot keep him in your custody but
one money bailer. Then the point is your amount bail.
Yes.
The condition if you are strong about the conditions then you go and vary the conditions.
I don't think I can say just to show to me where power lies. What you have 48 hours no also over 50 million property worth in bra. When you are still keeping him. Is it not
so it's 48 hours.
And I want to be a day no. Baby bet me some partners.
Bail condition what to me Yoko for 48 hours in a super paper on the bail condition man.
Agya Kwabena won't see me can me say
let me be sir.
Omudi so and but running say who ye Yoko, who ye police who ye FIC who you be say we share say ma who 48 hours say 48 hours ne so na say won nwie ya money bail and na say fani court na court enka say gusu keep no and sisi na ye kanu want to me is in the custody of Iyoko more than 48 hours ye MPP for lawyers no and yes say want me this can no nisko yes say you want to meet near this aye no and you want to meet near this aye
education
as to whether say the lawyer no for the legal process for no and as to whether say there was miscommunication between party legal directorate any lawyer and the appeal could be Iyoko for no knows the right thing say you to meet you before 48 hours
me person be so education kakra o yenyina yesua de kakra yen fa ne say application we call Iyoko yi no we dey call court no
yes for variation
say omo hwe no monte
even for me it is not the proper one
okay
yes
say omo hwe no monte so
court
no enti azumi say court no dey we dey application ko na court no so tena so no hu say Iyoko for ensam omo hwehwe mu no any bail condition no kora no Iyoko for dey no wo fam na se court ko any higher so
court bet me say mama court onye Agya Kwabena me problem ne say tio 48 hours rule no a constitutional injunction. Yes, it would show be a
problem in 48 hours. No,
but my detain more than 48 hours.
Your friend say, "Hey, be can say be me there some na make."
Yes.
Sir, your friend say in so we were in Tina 48 hours. Man, be ni we na.
Among us,
me susu bia. Asam na yaka. There be bia. Na say bia. Asam na muhwehwem no. Ade na bro sa. Enti ya ni say. Enti no anka wo na say de no court na say muso anka mutumi de na court na.
Deputy, and I make sure mu say, want to me cause here the headquarters. No mu wie no mu jan. Because na 48 hours na so. Enti ye hia we be san from. Omo de ni call yoko no so at 48 hours. Na make can say the entire are politically motivated. Me Agya Kwabena me personal relationship with Wontumi. Legal matters na ye can. Because ye can say na doctor betimi ayewo. Ni emrane can say uchi obi Ghana na 48 hours ne so a mani bail and answer for the court na sanka se court man keep but we dey mo tweye 48 hours ne so ye no na mama no 50 million cedis bail enti when yen chogusu dem but ensese mutimi adenitina mokuku more than 48 hours obenyo so onyo
enti aka wanya bail no nka wo
so obi ne court eno na get so ne court
so mo keep no ho
no because as at now no so onyayo he's in your custody
yan hwa ade bi so a owura ande apia ko bi say
and I disagree with you.
Yes, he is negotiating.
Why do you negotiate an illegal position?
Meba. Or negotiating say be a bail condition no. You better so. That same application am go some the court no so no. Most of the same negotiations so Korea ne say be sanction normative bail conditions no. He using a different means because negotiation is allowed in when it comes to law.
Sure.
Until no you no say Crawford when a debate no to so I should did a little with this in Crawford. As he said yesterday, last night, you know, the Yoko members were there waiting for him. So, which me actually no my idea somewhere. And as application, so
you don't have to condone illegality. The law is specific. Say who keep you be more than 48 hours. Not say where to me for an call to me extend 48 hours now for an court. Na court extend the amount. And position now Andy any Yoko are taking with respect to Sini Andy Yoko a illegal position because Wontumi has been detained for more than 48 you cannot use omitted bail condition to still keep him more than 48 hours.
I think say court amount bail now one meet court conditions lawyer would agree with me say court in jail.
I know your court.
No to say inti the court na increasing call 100 million na chairman Wontumi intimi meet 100 million na enka onko fee menene ya dey say a court but you see the reason why Ira and the appeal could be I think say people are misunderstanding him but I think he's right
he's not
say if they if not for this application the client would have gone he would have gotten the bill say a cover application or make a sub judice. No, right. I'm not saying if it were me, I mean, but you see, you're marketing, what the outcomes you're looking for your client. Ubet me, say a court Monday, into make keeping it till Monday. But you see, only who coin, but court and because only who coin. You still get to keep the client for a weekend. Ababran can run, obet me. In that case, no politics now one kasa odo client here and I said the client freedom and I was no wait bail now open client ultimately who person client film let's even assume say 48 hours no they breach the 48 hours right in this case the real legal question they say your money bail onu na intimi just like court ma bail meeting condition you can argue on one side say you're arguing you don't have the powers to keep it but also make me making the argument to say mama bail now and just like a court meeting bail bond conditions I want to mean call that is a real legal tussle but a lawyer bet me negotiating now be meeting into your MPP cash 50 million they won't get two people to grant him bail bond. Say a politics no mummy and nunya they are near say politics. Or them weekend that will get this airtime. And then my MPP will get a bit more if that is the intent. But the intention is a client never caught there. then maybe lawyer and the appeal Akubi was right, because I know he would have gone home. But because of this court application, Obedon for the rest of the weekend, Minka say
right so many times. Yoko investigators, there have been so many documents presented here, they rejected it. And it was a plot to frustrate. But when Brian brought his documents with that level of property, they could not do anything. Even with that crowd, almost some person property answer. You see, so it was what keeping Nippon all this while? Time best one man in this honors bill condition. You had to be by our frustration. You had to be by our frustration. You had to be by our frustration. Still, you are keeping the person. You have gone beyond the 48 hours. And on there Friday, if the papa when they want to be no person chain answer and I say person chain where power lies, they could have gone to court for extension because they were keeping the man beyond the 48 hours mandate. So and they want to make and take action against Yoko. And I said the lawyers never call court. Your friend will be habeas corpus. Sir, produce him because you have kept him more than the required constitutional days. Okay. I don't make a say. You want to meet to the
1 minute was I say. Winning patrol. Me tell it. Okay. Oh, I don't know. Say lawyer, he just emerged from another planet. Nobel land or Ghana suddenly because I had to say. Ghana there be Ghana sem and UK Ghana sem here. For anti-Galamsey protesters.
People I know.
They denied them access to their lawyers 2 weeks. Yep. No be mom kwai mom nko.
E won me be ya me.
Mom nko. Em deny legal representation, say court whatever. E no ye hwehwe mu chi nka hu be bi do makoche. Eti o mam ase. O kai me case. E wo airport do mo de hear me. Omo the red alert o mi nim adekun potia. Omo de aye me. Unim say me tu kwan a meko no free me da bia na nakoba so me mu. Hey. Oh, online. You to me so me mu ebi wonu mu a flight with Abelandi 8 me be yese me pie no ye detain me almost like ebi wa me timi tra wonu mu a 2 am
same bro 14 hours.
Wow. Now him say 2 am no me release me no ma sound so dey me about departure. Uni say do be do departure. E say we do on flight ni na akọ ade asa. Here be say who kwa ba ne say na Abelandi wo even say departure because who arrive here and say me see frustration. Yes, you want to take a sample of my urine. Wow. Nipa me see every flight mu me ma Jones so am pie no.
Wow, Ghana.
Asema me ken Ghana sam. Ya posa me hwe ani take sample.
Wow. We are the chibi. And the chibi
Ghana. See the things people have gone through.
Yes,
see, until recently, I had to go to immigration. Me petition NACOB, me petition a lot of institutions, even including embassies, you know, to find out say how come when you say me delay mu a na yin film me delay mu bia na yin sin chain all because somebody has gone to put red alert on my name say my head because yes presidential power say we are in charge. So some of these things in focus on more kind of my answer me say say that work say you detain you be 2 hours see. It's not if so we be complaining you allow
yet to me coach him there 28 minutes
unim ye nuan na divine or you be obetia fotu anka ye de kan amekan otie ye wa branti bi a wo frɛ no Michael Nyinaku Beige capital wo man bail 200 million. Also to me, he went to court for an appeal and awarded about 50 million. Oko court. Niane Crawford ye ya make a choice. MPC na dia wo ye ni se wundo. Won to me. Na nya bua paye se bia won to me etiatia mon Crawford bi na nso. Nti mo pese won to me mo mpena so a. Nka sa match na mo de ko ho no. Nka do na esa nka munye obi no de ordinary surety no mo ye dai mo de ko. Mo ye MPC 88. Mumu bia no anya afejo markets no so businessman no wo estate ni ade no anya no what to me
go for frustrate you
look at this
I'm frustrated how many documents you
have on me can say me jira unim say Bawumia His Excellency former vice president Enra unim say dan kokosra no em one security agencies ni yoko agreement and wo ka chense yema ho kwan no ababesra no o party ba any problem we Ghana ni former vice president bra na mom sa wo beba e bia wo ni nipa ba no bi pa na nya dai emra ana o ti ase
all kon was am catch no but omi akwa no was say dom
when you are
the reason why I want about omi ehunu no
omo wie no be ka say
omo wie no be ka say
omo di
but part ni bi ati se ba omi akoba ni obedi nachi
no mote ye
o so we no when na me catch say
omo di campaign
I be only security more than 48 hours yet you want to be I think
48 hours na wo masa 48 me pese ye nya nchirichi
ma me ntwem 48 hours no bibia ni wa wo police sesia obi se police be fa me no wo se won grant me bail no bi meyi me na sa bail na ye Friday ana say Wednesday na me kwai na so bia meyi me a police ni wo kwam so jam se me come fi
I saw the court na court extending
you see
there no a police cannot and nobody can take in custody for more than 48 hours
ye hwe ade
and you know want to
hours ni mu no timi so
you know want to
48 hours for so yare wo
Thursday
and Saturday how many hours
Thursday oba be interrogated would me and also yare Thursday
you were still in your custody yare cry was still in your custody you were still in your custody yare was in your custody was it not in your custody
Mami kasa bi so na koyo oba besia na ye no man benufu okura Ghana ya license gun dani kemu because our kumsin so ni ayani competitor e ko report on so okura gun ya chire no
how kumsin
Kisolomon ye kom na kasa because say
48 hours
no we don't need answer sing obi awa ho because ye ka say bia no wo say da bi tie obi abesu o manufu wo de mutumi je no koto police as our cantonment money ko da ho ja o de ba do to fie that one no ye mutumi de mu say ye nya ban kwan ne ye fa mire ne ade ngum ne ye fa mani mi ya we ko so no ye
na ye nhwe say divide can say bi say sa womo ye protest anti-galamsey for no ye de omo ko be 2 weeks wo fa wo hu bebi omo ne nasefo emranitia
and no court na detaining omo enye investigative body
emranitia ye nhwe 48 hours no
yes
any bail condition no ye between the education kakra wo ho say asam na ye gina so no de e aka say okay special essential no ni bail condition ko special cola be kan ho a ni bail condition ko and special cola bail condition ko special ice bail condition ko tini mienu be kan bo mu a ye de special ice and special cola no ye kan ni mienu ni nyina de bom na ye na ba ko anase de say adsem no 48 hours
absolute
and bail condition no sondodo sa ni mienu no
Jama menkaim no article 14 3 a person who is arrested, restricted or detained be non-irrelevant upon reasonable suspicion of having committed or been about to commit a criminal offense under the laws of Ghana and who is not released shall be brought before a court within 48 hours after the arrest, restriction or detention.
Okay.
The heart of the legal question is say ya maubela ya release you and I say you release you to boss ya maubela in the ya maubela no on who is the responsibility, right?
Sure, but you are meeting
bail condition. Say na meka say a court na court maubela mpo what meeting bail conditions and just uko
because it's court
to boss lawyer. You need to say the bail as an event is separate from meeting the conditions of the bail and the release. Na sa constitution we no say nya ka no. E nyema mienu say nya o ka no. E for back argument ne back say nya ka lawyer from mienu. Back betimi aka say well, a man is 48 hours no so a o de member court. Into one me bail na me ntimi miti ye no. Famiko court. Na court nka say me miti ye nti
Kodem,
and I extend for 2 weeks.
Simple.
That is one side of the argument.
That is the only side.
To Boase. The other side of the argument say Yoko betimi aka say just like court I want to me so my bail me so me o to me say me my bail say me my bail just like court gives a bail police inquiry bail valid in law every bail is given upon conditions into media mama o bail the point is conditions now media man na want me to me no afage na wo so obeko court no cover their main conditions na media man into me kono ukona cover na court ka say me 15 no so yenye no 1 and the na court na ka say yenye no 1
in this aspect let's just say ye one more eye mra se badwafo a eye lawyer fo ko ho no sankai so mo kora no tumi ko court ka say e bia ade na 48 hours na so munya ntia betunya ka
no na gari ma so aye no no na gari ma so aye asem no practice na aye no so unya survey that variation na say me na me yoko a unya survey me a chese minkuta mensa na court make a decision on the bail term
subjects na enu ti bail you know one so me to be subject in some
absolutely
and this court to take your 20 minutes CJ say the akokoma say mo twere krata the akokoma diplomatic call say
dean of diplomatic
yes say wo mo hwe na wo mo enka I why
Agya Kwabena you see
5 minutes
medasi Ghana ye can global committee of nations so what you say Ghana is not an isolated country and I say Ghana is not an island ni ebesi o Ghana habia e ramifications because you were national some other countries
yeah
and they yeah chief justice here train aboso obi investor yeah me specialization in trade and investment obi investor now or Lebanon obi investor no Russia obi concerned about what is happening to our judiciary it definitely near ebesi Ghana bia no ramifications yen trading partners and as investment partners so and say enko ye a esem mo kan bi esem mo tibi no mo so be hu ne etuam enu nti na party no any leadership etu sa na mo ne say ya ka mo fi yen maami kra kan ya kan say eye chief justice okọ hearing na emema ne bone search Agya Kwabena maami wo be 68 years old and as 66 where your lawyer 40 years odi chief justice how many years in we di chief justice for almost be 4 and as 5 years na say okọ hearing na emema na bone search enye violation of the human rights okọ court accord say wontie lawyer Becca Shaw said when it comes to human rights issues no e were overriding considerations emran say netie by a hwe na de na wo beka a check court no e border on your human rights sometimes we relax and make the rules flexible to listen to you my minister okwa ye gini bibia ni ode be hwe so any case eye ni computer ni phone cry ye and so other lawyers there ohun so mu tomo there then necessary supreme court tie everything bia from the very day a petition shows to say a clear orchestration on the part of the president, on the part of the NDC to get the woman out. And it is unfortunate that Ghana for nyina eja ade na maame no ene yen bi lawyer for a GD se pepepe ye de ese
Ghana for nye de
eh eja Ghana for nye de maami dan waye agana fo nka bi ma no
dabi mechiru eyemra enti asam no wo emra nimu no ka Ghana fo no nye den
ne Ghana fo ni bi ye ne se ye hu se ese ye bo diplomatic community na mane se sisi e koso o Ghana ni mo menka na mo nka bi Ghana fo no sabi na ese Ghana fo ye o ye kire se maami se ne mo twena bo se enye why den Agya Kwabena why den enu nti no cast ye ma petition obi anhwe bia mo se mo ntie no because mo nim so onya hwe yi na mo pese mo yi no enti Agya Kwabena never fought party no and also obi an say ye complaining to the international community say omumra Macedonia omun twa ma menu hwe o man Ghana na ye koso ni o se ma mi nya hwe ye yi no wuntumi adem more than 48 hours sanyo me Agya Kwabena twa yi na me nya ka che Ghana for se Ghana for muntie yi enei aye wuntumi aye ye maame araba ochine betimi divine ochine betimi doctor ochine we Agya Kwabena mpo betimi ayo ene ewuti ha e ka se ebisa ya asomfa se 48 hours no nchirem esun kan nchirem ye ba kope ade ne se sha se ye chi nko ana 48 hours ne so a ese ye do court na court
ya so anche musa
dabi setie we de mame to Agya Kwabena ti ase enso no perfect bi atie ba de ne se se ya ba kope
dabi tie o ka se mi sa question e mame hu
sa okay
obi hwe yen
okay
lawyer education so the minister
make on get onimna ni party se muntia
tio me bon
Can 1 minute.
Prince Pacho your phone so na information
Can
there
1 minute.
and hwe ye ni komo ketu abi asem a wo kan ase eye mra eye process enti so nipa ni ye bone me tu me ye bone na de mako gina court chichina ntwa asem aye bone bone be na ma ya me ye bone bia wo se me kodam 10 years anya possible to bet me mako 10 years obra me ye bone bia
she Agya Kwabena enkasa
enti ya court asa na tie
she
o man ga na ya court asa na tie
tie ya justice for all program konsa wo ma omo dem ense so omo dem omo bro 100 enu ti na mra de esese de politics because she ni mra to bi nya ne se bebo nipa apart from that no emra betimi bibia enti no men bia rule of law very important ni emra to mi nye eni se emra bebo nipa emra betimi bibia na covid time president decree by no wonder so would die covid time by say mo bia anko baby say because president was out to me so would die o se san that time me wa enti emra de ehu eno na me suro ema Ghana for say enye wuntumi nti ene ede mra be politics enye justice tokonu nti ene ede mra be politics next year
sana hunu no
sana me hunu sisi a especially wuntumi de no wuntumi nti ne ede 48 hours ne poli ene enchechemu aba anka constitution ne ka se shala
me da say what you have so but ya bo bi din and the appear could be ahoma no so ye ni nkomo tia wona fe lawyer mpacho we dia da se pan no wo mre mo achi. Hello, lawyer. Lawyer, the appeal could be matching. Oh. Hello, lawyer. Let me say, lawyer and Tienka. Lawyer, the appeal could be. Oh, line in Nimwaye. Line in Nimwaye. Principal, checking the background. Mammy, I'm just say, at the same time, say, Yaboni Diwa. No, so Abiano, Yanya Bekura, Ubinim. Ne yatumi ahwe se etisen na nti ye hwe kwanse sabetu aka lawyer and the appear could be one lawyer ni edema chema wuntumi nanka ye bisa se so far watumi ay magic bi ama yenya bill de ama chema wuntumi ana okay hello lawyer mo yada se pa na wo mre na ahoma ne ha ya adwene kakra me wadi yada se no wo mre so far how far.
Bibia koso na Bibia koso da na miasi se musuma pe na se day conditions no na me aduma enya so kinene justification na me aduma Monday ebekwen
yenya ntia sha ebinu wo se nkrofo bi akwaya application bi a wo ni mo ho hwe ehefo
it's an application to vary the conditions of bail. Now, the family economy, the mama money, and I'm so me sanctions and the sanity. The moment only a trouble, and Mama Ukraine, Nama Dia, make it to me some more because I'm a sentence. Kobobia Mutino studio home. Lots of accusations. Sama emphata mana to bosse na metu mimi akuma no for say ubana ukani bi yes maybe no dia makwa bisuna etwa so a bibia nsi kwansa obetwa ben no so na mimi den na way say na enya echemo dia ma obi na abie kwa bi so ma mo apia dia na se people won't hear there on just say kasa ho sa memo konya emisona obitsemia ebia obetimi nka kono no se bibi bukwa na nka ɛma na dwom ɛti bi sɛ no adwuma no ɛyɛ obiara wo kwan fa so yɛ n'adwuma ɛna case biara is different from the other circumstances in every situation no ɛna kyerɛ deɛ ɛbɛyɛ ɛti bi sɛ no me na meyɛ counsel in the matter ebibi wɔ mu na sɛ ɔnim a ɛna brief no nso so ɔnim mu hwee deɛ ɔwɔ kasa no because ɛnyɛ na me n'anim wɔ case no ɔno ɔnim ɛna interrogation na ɛkɔ so ne ade nyinaa ma meyɛ private ɔno ɔnim bisɛ no a wonya botrɛ na sɛ pɛ sɛ wohyia biribi mu mu a ɔntwe ma mi na mene yɛni nkɔmmɔ na menkyerɛ ne deɛ yɛgyina bɔnten criticise yɔnko also wo senior lawyer adwuma a wɔyɛ
lawyer criticism no dum abisa criticism no nyinaa ne sɛ mmara no kyerɛ sɛ ebia yɛde obi ɛkɔ police kukumu yɛkɔ kukumu na 48 hours wɔtumi amiti bail condition na ɛsɛ sɛ yɛde onipa no ɛkɔ court na court kasa okay bail condition wɔtumi amiti dia ɛne na you go yɛdo bɛkɔ remand saa deɛ no wɔn amfa asɛm na ankɔ court ama court ankasa bi a wɔsɛ 48 hours no wɔfa ankɔ court ɛno nti na obi soso sɛ wɔn mu akyɛ ma wɔntumi
me say eliminate all come brief no on Thursday Timothyano nya betre because opposition media on me brief no on Thursday I will pardon him because he doesn't understand what is happening oji lawyer me ka bi who say case bia any kind of fact and case bia any confront with the
and some no obi ka say ebere asam no kopie de mo ye nhwehwe mu no additional charges additional nsam ababe kan won nti na ama niam na bibia ti sa na e no kure sa
ni ami pa topi e bia e wi no sa kobodie no hunye hia se ni bail mo asam ni nti mo ya gi ko bail do na you tell me say ka charges mo asam a na se na mo fi tu bia mi mi na de me se ni se bibi o ho so sia o ma e yemi e ti nya ho pete na me so me yedi pa o ben mi na o bisamia e chiro e katio na le bi o ho o ni mi fema o mo na
okay
na de me nya yiki na asubie mbra
jo na ne ho ye binom se ne ho ye chama ho tumi ne ho fa no ne ho te sai
the home family the philosophic me na the first mbra tia di headquarters ni na reason the ma say ti na the na home family but the home to do no nti ba yoko pon so no so hu sa ni ko ni hu de bu eti se de ko na okunya ayarisa eti ani de ni ko se no na yese ye bibi kase bi se ebia ba bi o dano na ha na bi ni ko do na sa no ba e ni ko do ni tina na to hospital o nya ayarisa
okay and say de betumi aka enti o ayarisa bia na se oda so oyukufo no ho
and na me kan dey council of the no kan kwa we say oh you go when you baby o so o council me dey when you pass o da oni adi na oni mu so kan dey me so obia o kan you pass the the council on record we have juma me say na ko ti media so be na o ko ka so be na but so da ko tan say mu na o ka tan so be and this time you
we can disagree.
All right, and lawyer, but that's a part of actually a bedding come program next year. But some from your car, so that's papa lawyer and the appear could be one lawyer needing much. I want to be needing common next say. In someone or saying in any bit to me account, say no bill no answer me here, and I'm on a
or make it direct response to me. But no credit say, Lawyer Juman, we can disagree. Maybe position, and I insist to say position now we're taking. I disagree.
Okay.
I vehemently disagree because when you try to negotiate that, you are negotiating outside the confines of the law because 48 hours, the rules are very clear and you're absolute.
Okay.
So if your client has been kept more than 48 hours, you don't tell all of us, say, has Wontumi not been kept more than 48 hours?
That's it. Your time now, so. Hey, and then come anybody tell mommy, and then the calling hearty.
Madam, get to talk on us and we are. Earlier on, Medican can say, Obi no chamber. Say, Constitution, no. Yentro say, quite fast why D, A, D, B, A, D, C, A, Nankebe say, Crofabo, untouchable. But from president, Eddie be see the cleaner. Oh, mem has say, Embrana state, and Bepas was a person, you be a few baby, and number me, you know. Madame Tokonu asemwa media ekosomo ade a me hu ni say why na dwen say ni nim die onim wo law ni mu ni legal brains ni nyina no de no beto fie no the emotions aba public ni mu no aba be di agro ho no because we hu say mra no on fa nya adwuma Agya Kwabena minia lawyer redu e ka say unu say minia on or you be our smart pa but adwuma na wagire na so chen no ntina party no nkomo na odi ne mu edin enye sanka nkomo we obebo no tew hwe unu zo ko 2 grammar bi na grammar na ye me de o say sa 48 hours no there is a clause bi on mo say word bi on mo a emphasis no ye
except
o say sha
mandatory
let me take last week minia any ya
in camera
the same of why ya tro say
in camera
sha
me ma chief doesn't want to say sha na wo say sha
o say sha no de enye fa juma na sha we de e fa juma you see the double standard and the hypocrisy
you see
on one hand madam Tokonu say cross na ya tro on say in camera no a sha which emphasis crampon also to the extent say you're italicizing that text no and I say it is in italics
to
create emphasis say a non-negotiable a specific and so when they have betina no na making look to say Madam Tokonu ni waiver na o seeking the enamumra kwan so me mama no know about assembly with the mechanic say yet including all the lawyers of MPP NDC whoever maintain obi including Madam Tokonu ankasa was stated emphatically anywhere oka say so far no process ni procedure na ye fa so a ye toto na no ya na se ni need nkomo no obi e breachi any constitutional law na se obu mra bi so no one ade omu ye nyina ye the same thing omo ye untumi asem no e da honum ye se bra ya ma bail conditions I so be meeting almost there be almost dey passing because some young demonstration some comedia some ye say don't delay ade no the same thing omo dey Madam Tokonu dey omo ba emra no omo nkam na bia o emra no omo state anything in law and nothing anchored on constitutionalism no ma ba bet na no see o madam no ese mo ye tie na no se ye tie na no kasa enye ya ntene na no kasa na say ni say ye pam ganye adwuma madam na kan brofo bi Madam Tokonu brofo no minim say papa o say papa ba say no kan no or say no matter how many noises you make the law is the law and if the law is the law untumi mba na mbe kan kire say on one hand Madam Tokonu be ka say me person me ni we no mu eye adwuma we no mu mintimi no and you know say even the income na say say ya ade no kokwa mu no maami no pekwan bi so a pechira de asem na ba beto abonte in some names say yet bi no oye no de ato oja even the rate no mo file ni mu no some of the things I want say to mu na or the same ni na say and to the extent say on fa in some no on kan say asem ne te unim say first o creative pressure bi say ye de na kwa shege to bi na hono ko mu na na mi ni mo say na e castle ni ade ne ko yo na maami no be creative pressure bi o no or the kunu ne bed na chomo ko eden
or some say I saw na obey powerless or pay the kan ye no say o ma the kunu and immediate family the kunu ne men wremu no e ma no they rendered her powerless
how wo ko wo na wo ye betoto ano ye ne wo be di nkita ho ye be bisa wasem wo si e ma wo kun eni wo yun oba endi wachi no mo meye de mo bo achi do ma no meye de Oze Mura says Sani again mami we beka say only access to the lawyer later na be hu say sana even cry no behind the scenes na the lawyer ho no one no direct access through the phone like or what access. So some of these things no more here. I don't know what the end game is. Okay. But the me can say baby abrofo me kan ya me de me si me njai kan as it was in the morning so shall it be in the evening. Iti o we are sir no wa hwe wo de Mungo
Agya Kwabena me ba say ebie sa Agya Kwabena me no ya ka say
omo de akokoma diplomatic
eno na nkamba be ka na
en fani mguase mere mu se mu aban mu na yes chief justice ama political parties 9 e de akokodan so omo hwenka ho ase
oni me de ntia be fere de case all over oni me nyanza pa sinyega e wa nyina yes to be a can answer my so na say no de no kan eno na fe di divine eyi ni oka last week no
sha no
finish into oba if you lawyer pay and the appear could be what advice no onfa o ti ase onfa unyenge nkodu baby ya yansere wo akatia good Agya Kwabena no kan say be say ma me ni say mbare mampo na search no me pese me kan sisu peng say nya no kware enipa ye wo video any pictures e wo hom pring ya na ye oba besia e no search ma me no into you see what to fu atie partisan politics e udi echi kwa baby a wanya obesuo bi kura de so ya anya wo de so ya no we ni ma ba be gu ase dachi bi nsema ye kan nyina da hotwa ye sa bi nyina wo twat wo e wo ho o record um tie be antie only last week ya say ya hunting ba ko a
constitutional interpretation
mama misaw Agya Kwabena ye wo manyim and who attorney general security minister Kendapa o ka kire yen court ai wo say mun kwan a mo faso die nsem na nkasa ekem tilted towards one way one political party mun hwe na mo sesa mo nsa no Kufu Ado appointee
Ewura Kendapa
mo
national security minister
mo eno ka sa nsem no ni nle no okro mu hote wan ka hwe
no UK
no wo UK wo ntia ntia eno nkoda na nu kanfa ti CJ emre wo ha odo no dia tena amemu so edi ai ma perpere ye ne hu justice the ade so hwe so onna no ye in charge otie banyim ena na Kufu Ado o man panyini his excellency date no ma twere wato ya na me afa mani so kakra 8 May 2018 was sacking 4 judges who could be the same article 14610 4 judges mraman wojira so no wode yai my name is Chief Justice Sam Mrana emre wojira so 146 no against the law is the real law 146 na wodi one in the assembly am pese enkrofobia petition o mampani ana am pa se enkrofobia asabia petition it was Araba Tokonu Mrs. Juana former Chief Justice am pese Council of State eko hwe ma wo hu wonya premier first case you know most will confirm yana am pa am pase president Imran Mahukwan say so form committee ana ni nyina mrane da ho pepepe so de me dey divide kai in camera ye kura sitting no kura do e wo mram iti fi e ba ne den ena ye ma mi ne MPP fu se kan ke wompene Agya ma me misaw
iti
na men ka sembi
na fo anu si
monim say emre bi nsem bi ba omanyim eye Oliver Vamawo yes when him said that same be by petition British High Commissioner okay Emma mama no mo friend Harriet Thompson eboa odana no tum edi ansem na ban mu including Dampare so beka ya Dampare through long thesis be ɛna man panin ne nkurɔfoɔ abɛyi mu MPP aban ɛka kyerɛ me sɛ ɛyɛ local politics mofrɛ sɛ ɛyɛ Ghana politics ɛne yɛyɛ yɛn yɛ di yɛn fi asɛm nti ɔno nso nkɔdi ne fi asɛm ɛnɛ sɛ the same personalities ɛtu akɔtwerɛ petition de akɔkɔma Lebanese ambassador
Dean of Diplomatic Corps
mo ɛne yɛkɔhyia na John Mahama kɔhyia diplomatic info yi ɛwɔ pediase wobɛkaya ne MPP fo yɛyɛ no wɔhyɛ kaka moto bi bobɔ nkurɔfo na mutuo ne ade nyinaa kum nipa ba wɔtwe ansa na Nana Addo san ɛbɛdi president to so yɛbie ngokuro bia nipa innocent so 8 ɛne akaka bi nsɛm ne awuru kasa bi nyinaa yɛkɔyi kyerɛ wɔn wonim ne MPP fo ka kyerɛ ɛmɛ yɛ petition wɔn asɛ wɔ ka kyerɛ yɛ sɛ yɛkɔyi video akyerɛ diplomatic corps na wɔntumi nyɛ yɛn hwee wɔni hwee a wɔbɛyɛ because ɔman no ɛde ne ho ɔwɔ ne independent yɛ republic state ɔpɔ na yi nyinaa ne fɛ de mu wie na nnɛ even obi mpo yusu mmara wo de wobɔ bi na mutuo ɛwɔ ayɛ wɔ so by election wobu bɔ nkurɔfo tuo look at that video obi kura daa dade na ɔde ahwe obi kɔn akyi mo hyɛ kaka moto bi o nipa 8 innocent souls mo kum wɔn mo de ɛno mpo de obi ahui ɛno mpo mo ka kyerɛ sɛ yɛde yɛn ho
okay
Ghana enya ne fa ho de
ɛnase
awuraba justice Saba Tokonu Mrs. Former now a suspended chief justice Emra Emra
betitia
that's
yaw sima we de emre no ene ye dollars asam no wahu ebi ya pa
ya nka no
asam because
how many way they say ade ya we ya opro mu akwa yi
na nya sa ebren ye de adwa na sa me nka so me kwa yi ayi be pese ye hwe ayi dollar wasam no because na be say me hwe from Kufuor time be say he 4 time na dollar usually cost so pa
dollar and some there because
maybe come on bebre
over Emrana the laws I've created I have 31 pages what I'll do is send the way
send the mommy
but in some way nyama me na make ho chief justice the kind I think that every well-meaning Ghanaian engine to say Emrana was says 146 must change.
It was amended.
Yes, we must change 146 because Sebio any can say a year easy. Say I was a chief justice, but making that is looking for senior Emrana say there. Emrana Yenejuma Medase.
Where do I come and see what? Yes, sir, Dr. Pedu, yes, sir. Who ye ne ya doso. Na se o man bia ba ni bibia me nkrofo bi ye watitru bi o wa ma no ne o hwe program yi pa. I'm telling you the kind of information o de ma no. Esoso se wokọ America man mu nipa bi a o se system ni ye adwuma. Enti ema pressure ma obi aso. Ha. Enti no adenti na yeso ye pese yesua wo mo no. Yeso ye ma system ni adwuma. Na mo ekwe se do ba bia na ye de amajoso betum se bram na ama system no atwe break nti ama system no tumi mpulu se le se pulu akwe se ka ne fuel pump ni nya adwuma ekwe na bonu kuku ntumi nko wo di se ye betu ehu e de aboa then they say yes ma bi no
that's very system ni de answer be yi no gise ye nya adwen mu foforoye
okay
se ne ya adwen mu eti mmiri ayewo mu adwen ye say we share the amount of greed person kunya me selfishness ni say obi a ni yie mu hia no ana sempo obi bibi ni a o ya ni onu benya free mu e na hia no na mum say ye de ho bo afore aboa o my Ghana de very few minka say obi a but very few na o ho say o my Ghana ho hia no say ni a me ye de aboa ama o my Ghana akokan bebre adwen wo kuto wo yedie parties ahodo a obi adwen mpo so mba power bebre ehwe say the next election no so wini eti no ho modern ena ombo dan say o my Ghana a nyankopon de ache yem ebo ho modene ama oman no akokan enti ama do nyame ahia okwan bia so nka esi Ghana de yeye pa nanso ayese Ghana ahokyem ahokyem ayewo mu nso no eje nyame na aye bibi ena nipa no bebre nya correct bebre adwenye na adwene yenti no wo say yade ye no nso de be che abrochi wo say wo say system we nipa na run systems they say obi ankoye na ade yi a system be che na do akoto prison eno no fa ho opposition ukura anase nipa do awunim wo anase contest awo no system na che wa na che na ha tese system na che ukura nipa da dwen say minim ba bia mefa mimade ameye minsika metua ama makoni free etu obia tibia ni awope nia enne ye kan wasem Agya Kwabena eno say yesu ehunu kase ema ye gina especially politicians no woman mo ye aban adwuma no woman mo ye aban contract no woman ebia o man skabesho mo saso mfanye bibi on behalf of oman yesu ehunu say emre bi ebeba hwe enye ni paketu na eka mo asem no chief justice wan asem na eka chama wuntubi obi enim senior ni ka ye highly powerful a Jesus so mu kra enye yi ene wo mo ena ho asem eda bedwam edun ti say wa nwen ho now they say ni a wo sabe so mu ni a wo benya ni ye nkwan ye die mu no wa o kasesem ni post na opa maybe back accountability pai bo a mebo e dia tai ene president any NDC fo adwuma mo ye ne say wa me ba Agya Kwabena ni adwuma say o mpanyifo wo mo adwuma especially a clear example ye MPP na mo ba no so wo mo de wo mo sika deda enti o sika de hu hia because wo ba japade wo manya wo ba bobra a che so mo de critical sema enti na me ti say loko anasi bia na HSC sagogo bia me we ho mpanyifo sa anka fikrofo mre so omanya post anya obajapade nyina ene ya ma mo post kakra so afi on fi power na ye tata wo mo enti no mpanyifo ani so mabo mo bra mo musika no ko ba ne se ne bia na ni krofo sa chesi wo mo which means your problem Agya Kwabena system no che say dream can proye ni atwem boni woni pa mu se woman post wo se de enkura still wo hwe se obi for kwan bi so asenye bi aka ho eti aba Ghana Ghana bra ye bre no atwem boni a bebre titu akandifo bi a wo benya correct anya position bi a anka so mbo ama Ghana ko kan no wo mum na ama Ghana ye bre me pa bon se nka president declare July 1st say nka a day of prayer
and thanksgiving
nka a day of prayer a day of repentance adwen nye incorrect nipa nya correct does o man mu nipa nya adwen sacha no so ko bom pa na nkotwe because nipa nya correct no so bom pa kro ko bom pa ye nipa ko bom pa ye sen as nya adwen sacha ansa na den ya bom pa ye Agya Kwabena
me na say doctor me da so pa na mama for message we twam ne yen hwe o say the responsibility lies with whom to fulfill the bail conditions set by the courts or the relevant authorities, rather than Yoko being at fault for his detention. If you want to meet the condition, he should be able to secure his release. Etina on being so yen yaba kwadwe on the buy no na mame first time kwen so na me first da PSC Emma specialized in soda special drink this way and if you need for food it abe consume so mu na perfect man for so ntade am shey I am fefe I am kama no nso kwaji bia your pam sizes bia ne design bia ne shape bia no ni colors bia no wo sabe tumi akabi and na no pay mame first da Emma me production team led by Prince Obimpe and if you mun kala wakasa guma so no ai we da mas papa na me cameraman it's possible ba ono so e wa ha Mike Pupu with us pa na me fe bi ma peni e be kaminsa na Dr. Christopher Mpedu West African Director at the Mass Samaritan Strategy Africa or by Doc with us papa and Kwame Uredu menu Kwame Uredu me kuma o hadwi o Kwame communication team no sign lawyer ni Kwame medase so nya breba ye divine kromo agina ni jami a on frɛ me no wono so eba bi or director of operation e de ma PPP ana fedu ankwanta de hia enche okoko di hene ya sompa oloye ni sikasem obemfo wono so ya wo so medase ana febusu pani Felix Kofi Munko wono eye national communication team member de ma Andy Samayuku no wono so ka ho bi na wo ba ye me so I be who cham ni bidin e de Agya Kwabena ye da nyina sema mo ne hwe na mo ne ye sori so de e ka ne se eye ya e ma ye ya ye nuanum tafo asenkremofo asemo se danduruwa me de me hu ne se atem didie enya atem didie o se eda no eduru ho a obehu ya kra mo nyina
e hona bo se no ko ye